Today's episode is brought to you by our good friend and sponsor Brian Miller over at United Real Estate Chicago, the only realtor Mike and I trust when buying or selling a home. Links are in the description below.
Are you thinking about buying or selling a home? Or maybe you just have questions about the real estate market. Hi, I'm Brian Miller, and I'm a licensed real estate professional serving the Chicagoland area. People know to call me when they need a problem solved. Through research, troubleshooting, and asking the right questions, there isn't an issue that we can't overcome together. If you're buying, I'll help you find the home that fits your wants and needs. If you're ready to sell, my goal is to get your home in front of the masses and do everything it takes to net you the most money. Since entering the industry in 2014, I've experienced navigating various types of markets, as well as assisting clients with short sales, probates, and selling homes that have been sitting on the market. In other words, if you want to work with an award-winning real estate agent, make the process as easy and stress-free as possible, you've come to the right place. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm Brian Miller, and I can't wait to connect with you.
Hey, welcome to IMO In My Opinion with J&M. Jonathan,
Yes.
you had a good deep breath right there.
Yeah.
How you doing, buddy?
Awful.
Awful.
I work for some fucking crooks.
Do you know?
I swear to God.
Cook County?
I want to go on a... You're not supposed to say?
Tennessee County?
Yeah.
All right, there you go. What's wrong? Tell me your problems.
No, I'm not
ailments.
going to go on a tangent. I don't want to get fired.
That's a good strategy.
But yeah, they're crooks.
Okay.
No,
It's just, that's
it.
All
That's
right.
it. That's
All right,
the
good
end
enough.
of my thing.
Good enough. We have guests today. I'll let them introduce themselves. They're both, one of them's an actor that I worked with. The other one is they're both dancers. One of them's a dancer. She wants to get into the acting world, so we'll talk a little bit about that, but I'll allow them to introduce themselves. Whoever wants to go first.
I'm Andrew Tamez-hull, Chicago artist, actor, singer, dancer, whatever, everything.
Yeah, I'm Antoniette. I'm also a dancer, choreographer-ish, actor, whatever.
It's like the
Jack of all trades.
What was the
Yeah.
what was the guy's name from Full House? They used Kimmy's
Danny
boyfriend.
Tanner.
No. She had a boyfriend that would always be like, whatever. Like that
Oh,
was his
yeah.
answer. That was his answer for everything.
Okay, you got to...
What was his name?
Does she even know what Full House was?
I didn't watch Full House. I'm sorry.
No,
So sorry.
I know you definitely didn't watch
You're
it.
just aging everyone right now.
Yeah.
That's so rude. How
Well, the
rude.
three of us.
Get that reference?
Yes.
That's Full House.
Wait,
Tiffany
what was
Tanner.
the dude's name, though? I know who you're talking about.
Waldo or something like, not Waldo.
No, you're thinking about the...
I don't remember. I bet eventually it'll pop into my head, but it
Family
was one of her.
Matters?
It was one of her boyfriends. Anyways,
Biff? No.
Biff.
That's
Biff Back to the Future.
Another... yeah, she's clueless.
All right.
Clueless? No, not that either.
Nah,
Oh.
Alicia Silverstone. That movie wasn't all that great. Anyways, so Drew, you're an actor, right? I worked with you on a small project that you were doing for Amaria, right? So, what made you want to get into the whole acting show?
So it starts off pretty young. I knew that I loved the arts, and I was with this traveling group that toured around and did assemblies, which was a performing arts group that did singing, dancing, and acting. So if you could imagine any of the school assemblies that back in the day they used to have, where it was like against drugs or alcohol or teen pregnancy, stuff like that. The group was called MOI, which stood for Messages Which Are Hopeful. And there we would do these little skits where we would dance to popular songs and discuss like any kind of like youth issues that at the time were problems. And so I got my acting debut doing school assemblies, and then a big break wouldn't come until I was about 19 years old, where I got a script from a friend of mine and told me to call this agent, and it just seemed so not legit. But I did it anyway. I was 19 years old. I was like, hey, I got nothing to lose. I'm just trying to make it. And he's like, you're a really good dude. I just remembered you, how nice you were with everybody. You got along with everybody. Read this script, call this agent, Chad, and do the audition. Let me know how it goes. So I did this audition, and then I find out literally that night that I'm going to be flying to Detroit, Michigan, to go work on the film Gand Torino. And that's
You were
where
how old?
19.
How old do you know?
Real old enough. 30. No, 36.
36?
Yeah.
So we're about the same age. Wow, that's pretty cool. At 19?
Yeah.
19.
Yeah.
But I watched that movie. I'm trying to put you in it. Where the heck were you? I mean, I haven't seen the movie in a long time.
Yeah. So I'm in the car scene. They ended up cutting one of the better scenes actually for
Of course
me.
they always do.
But I'm in the car scene where there's like a main gang and then there's a rival gang. So the Latino gang, if you will, and the Hmong gang meet up, but we start harassing the main character. V Yang is the actor, and we're like harassing him, calling him all these like bitch and all this stuff. And I'm the one dude that's hanging out the window. I have a buzzed haircut, no facial hair, and just screaming a bunch of bad stuff, racist stuff, everything, like everything you can think about.
I'm so going to watch this movie.
Yeah.
This weekend.
Yeah. No, yeah.
I mean, I'm going to find I haven't seen it in a long time. It was a
And
good movie.
why do I feel like that movie came out like 5-6 years ago too?
No, it
It's
was a while.
forever
It was a
now.
while
I
ago.
know. Something's wrong with
I
me.
remember watching that in the theater with my girl. I think but it was a while ago. I remember that movie was really good because of the car.
Yeah.
Like that car was badass. That Gran Torino that he drives.
Yeah.
It was like a green Gran Torino
Yeah.
or whatever. But that movie overall was awesome.
Yeah.
Like the tone of it had this like dark-ish kind of gritty tone to it. It was actually a really good movie. Did you actually watch it or no?
Oh, I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch?
No,
Clint
I'm going
Eastwood
to
movie?
now.
Great writing, great acting, everything. I mean, the guy is a phenomenal director, and
Did Clint direct it?
Clint directed it and acted.
Of course he did.
Wait, he hasn't directed everything he's in.
Yeah.
I mean, later stages, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, that's hard. I can't even imagine. Like, I know Ben Affleck, he directs and acts at the same time. I know
Oh, there's plenty. Matt Damon.
this guy just did a movie not too long ago. Batman. First Batman. Name.
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
He has a movie that came out not too long ago called Knox Goes Away or something like that. He
awesome.
directed and acted it. I'm like, that's got to be terribly hard because I kind of did that, and it was hard for like a 30-minute film.
Mhm.
I can't imagine dealing with an entire crew of like 200 plus people as a director, and you gotta be in front of the camera and do what you gotta do. What are you laughing at?
Just the fact that we were laughing.
Oh,
Yeah.
anyways. Okay, so you did Gran Torino, right? And then what happened?
And so I thought acting was gonna be easy after that. You know,
Never is.
boom, like I'm reading for
That was my big break. Here
Yeah.
comes the
Here
super.
comes Hollywood.
Why
calling.
is she laughing?
Laughing.
because she kind of got a little dose of that. I feel like too. I'm sure she's gonna talk about it. But yeah. So I go on all these readings for these movies, and I'm like, this is the one. This feels good. This feels right. And it would be like a solid 2 years before I'd get even like a call back. And one of the films that I was for sure like excited about was it was a Lifetime movie, or I think it was like a Lifetime movie. It was called America, and it was for the lead, and I was like, got called back for it, ready to go back to Michigan because it was like popping back then with like films, and they end up switching the ethnicity of the guy because one of the producers was out to dinner and fell in love with this little kid. And like, you got to be in this movie. You're going to play the little kid of the main character, which changed the older
whole
version.
thing.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, I didn't get anything, and for up until years later, I did a little bit in Empire, the show Empire,
Mm-hmm.
before Jussie Smollett was
before he got in
Yeah.
trouble, before he
Before he
faked his own his own events.
but I actually am in a scene with him, and I cannot remember her name, but the girl who plays in the movie Precious.
What's her name? I remember her name. All I remember Precious
The
is
mom or the daughter?
no, but the mom is Monique.
Yeah.
The mom was Monique. But that movie was so long ago too.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that in
Dude, my internal clock is fucked up. I
Yeah.
feel like that came out like 4 years
hell
ago.
no. That came out literally. I think just to give you a frame of reference. I think this is a name. This is a person you know, but Frankie was still working at AMC on Western at the time.
Oh, sweet.
That's
Lord.
how long ago that was.
Okay.
I think that AMC
Okay.
or what's it called now on Western. It's not AMC anymore. It's
Regals. Right?
Regal, whatever, the real expensive one, the one that I don't go there because it's super stupid expensive unnecessarily.
Go on Tuesday.
They don't even do that anymore.
Oh, no?
Not at Regal.
You said it's off Western?
Off of Western and Logan,
Yep.
that
Yeah,
little
it's
corner
Regal.
one. I remember when they built that thing. Yeah, that movie's old too. So you audition for a few things. You get on Empire, right? And then what goes on after that?
I'm just basically struggling.
Struggling
with,
actor. It's like the
with-
commercial from Liberty Mutual.
Yeah. with that's me. Yeah, that's me.
That's all of us, bro.
I did do a lot of ads, like, commercials and ads, and I did do voiceover at, like, in my reel and stuff. I have voiceover work. Yeah, I mean, and I write. I've always done music and dance, and I've always had that to like fall back on, and kind of that's my business now. And then acting is when it comes. I'm 100% in. What is that saying? We're all just a job away from being a working actor.
Yeah,
So,
I agree with that.
so and then I'll take anything that's going to be good on a reel now. It's just to get that experience of working with people like yourself,
Appreciate that.
which was great. And then seeing some of the work that you've done at that film festival was amazing too, because that's why like before we even started the podcast, I was asking you how hard it was to direct and then actually act, to be and do both, because I thought your performance, I was scared as shit of you, dude, and so was everybody else. Like,
But we'll talk about that. We'll get to that at some
Yeah.
point later on in the podcast. Madam,
Yes.
tell us a little bit about yourself. By the way, you guys can cuss all you want. You can say whatever you want.
Yeah,
Feel
I'm
very
sorry.
free.
I
Cool.
have the worst.
You can be as free as you want to be.
Shoot.
Just saying. Did she just say shoot? I really got to censor that one.
Well, I'm Antoniette. You don't know me. I'm 19. I'm not in college. I'm just trying to pursue this whole like creative thing with dance and acting. I've been doing dance since I was like technically when I was 4, but I don't count it because like those ballet days I just didn't really pay attention. Really, when I was 13, I started like doing hip hop classes and going to open style like choreo. I went to Drew's and he like one day invited me to be on his dance team. I was like, yeah, I'll do it. What is this? So since then I've just been dancing. Right now teaching. Just started doing that like less than a year ago. So right now dance is my business and how I'm living. Right now I just live with my dad, so I'm just doing that creatively. And then I also do acting too. Doing that since I was like 14. Also struggling with that. I've only done like one
Well,
gig.
you're 19. We're expecting you to be struggling right now.
But it's something I love to do, obviously. Just doing an audition, it's just like, oh, I get to do an audition for fun and all that.
Do you count that as a win when you get one?
Yes and no.
You should.
Yes, I would say, yeah, I
mean,
do.
Think of it like this. How many actors do you think are in the city?
There's
A lot.
hard. There's a lot.
That's a lot. I mean, if you go through all the agencies and have you ever like went on the websites and looked at the agencies and then looked at their rosters?
And then there's like so many. There's like
Right.
hundreds. And you're like,
So put it like this. Every time you get one, right, from an agent or whatever, they've already eliminated a lot of people and they invited you to do something. That's 100% a win. Like every audition is a win. If you get a callback, that's a super win. And if you get it, you get it. I'm a struggling actor, bibbity, you know? And that's how I look at it. Because the thing is, you got to realize that like you don't fit, everyone doesn't fit every role. And it's very look-based. Everything is look, right? You can have chops, but when you're not a no-name person, if you're not a famous person is what I mean, it's more based on your looks than your chops because they know what they're looking for, right? And if you don't fit it, like for me, I think my problem is I'm too fucking tall. To be honest, that's probably why I don't get a lot of stuff because I can't be that much taller than the main actor if it's not purposely written in the script that this guy's tall.
You can play a giant.
It would have to be written in the script, is
Obviously.
what I'm saying.
Well, go more fantasy.
I don't pick who I audition for.
You be Jason Voorhees.
Yeah,
Like, no.
he's super tall.
Jason Voorhees.
I could be
some
super
mass
shredder.
on him.
Like it needs to be written for you.
Correct.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you dance.
I dance.
How long have you been doing that? You said
Like 13.
13.
Seriously, yeah.
So what's your favorite? Your hip hop's your thing? I've been watching you guys' video, by the way. Like the stuff that you be posting.
Yeah.
I'm like that's shit that I can't do ever. Cause you guys dance really well, man.
I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm all for that.
Come
Alright.
take class. We
John,
just collaborated.
I would love to
We
see
go
that
5,
shit.
6, 7, 8, 1.
Dude, John, I would love to see that shit.
I know you would. I know you videotape it too.
I'll put it on the podcast. We'll have a whole episode about
Probably
that.
not gonna happen.
Yeah. But yeah, hip hop. But like, I feel like for me, like, I think nowadays there's like a difference between hip hop, how we call it. It's now open style choreography versus hip hop.
So what's the difference then?
The difference is like there's the cultural, there's the foundation, and open style choreography. That's like your own movement that you're trained in. It's like you hear a song and you'll be like, oh, I want to create a part of this routine. And that's just your own natural movement. Like, for example, Drew could be like really like, he wants to do whacking in some parts because he's like, I don't know if you're a whacking
We're
person.
gonna have to define.
We gotta define what that is.
Because
People
like whacking.
What's
Wait
going on here? Out of all the styles, whacking
How the kids would say. Pause.
I think she was just trying to set you up there.
Yeah. Whoa.
So what does that mean?
But it's like your own natural movement, not like technically foundation wise, making your own combo and usually teach it to a class. And that's for me, that's how I started. I went to a hip hop class and it was an open style choreography.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Can you clarify what whacking is? What whacking is? Like that's a style. Right?
That is a style. That is a style. Okay. Like you can be like whacking's like another. I don't know how to clarify. There's like different types of hip hop genres. There's hip hop in general. There's crump. There's whacking.
Crump.
What else?
Like
there's house.
a lot of footwork.
Chicago
footwork.
Chicago light feet. Chicago footwork. That's like all in hip hop in general.
It gets very complicated.
Yeah.
It's a lot of styles.
Whatever happened to just bachata and
Yeah.
salsa and merengue? That's it.
Yeah.
You know?
If it's anything like that video of that lady with the buzz cut saying "This is how you dance hip hop,"
Oh,
you
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
then I got it down packed.
Yeah.
It just looks so. Here's the thing. I think, mind you, I shouldn't say I'm old because we're the same age. I think my problem with that is like, it's like I used to go to the clubs and dance like Spanish music all the time, but I was a lot more flexible back then. I feel like I've stiffened up way too much. I need to stretch. Like it's not a lie when they say people need to stretch nowadays. I even bought that stupid. They do it like they have it like a therapy. Like it's like a belt, not a belt. It's like a strap, and it has like things to put your hands in, and you're supposed to use it to like.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I even bought that shit. Well, I just had knee surgery, so I had to buy it.
90-year-old geriatrics using that in the park.
Dude, that thing is like a gift from a god if it exists.
Yeah.
I just say
does.
this to get on his
But
nerves.
go ahead. Yeah.
But that's cool. So dancing's been a thing for you guys then, right?
Yeah.
You guys put on shows in the whole night, or is it just like for classes and fun?
I mainly teach now. I mean, every once in a while, like, I'll hop out there and perform. Like there's this event called Carnival. It's a choreographer's ball. Paulette and why am I
Starts with an E, right? No. I literally.
Paulette. Shout out Paulette. And like one of the producers, like she's always really welcoming when it comes to that show of like looking for the good choreographers in the community. And they're a traveling show. And so I guess once a year or twice a year, I'll hop on stage and dance, mainly because my focus is teaching and like my business is based around that. But if there's ever an opportunity for me to dance, especially like on a set or anywhere like professionally, then yeah, I'm gonna do it 100%.
So Step Up 5, you're in it.
Of course.
Here, okay. So a film like that, those type of films that have the dancing stuff in it.
Yeah.
How accurate do you think it is? Or like how much is bullshit? How much is actually like real? Because you guys actually dance. So like how much of it is legit? How much of it you think this is a fucking made up job?
I think Step Up, a lot of it's bullshit. But like there are some movies, Save the Last Dance. You know,
Real or bullshit? I love that movie.
I would say that's so close to being real, and I think that was a good message of and writing towards like how two cultures can be completely different and still have respect for each other. And I really like that. I really like that story. And then what was the other one? Was it Step Up? Which the one with Channing Tatum? That's Step Up, right? The first one was good. I think that was pretty close to being real. Again, great writing. Everything after that was kind of like, I think, a little forced. Like, yes, there are crews. Yes, there are, dance trends and stuff. But, especially like when they're dancing in the streets and stuff like that would never go down.
So like they're not hanging under the viaduct in Logan Square in that skate park, and they're just sitting there dancing and
you
shit.
want to have a dance off?
Well,
They don't do dance battles like that. No.
Well, they're doing that, but now it's for like TikTok, or like something like some sort of video.
It's already been planned.
Concept video.
It's not
or
just
something.
random.
Yeah.
Like this
Like-
guy walks in and he's like this
isn't
killer
the West
dancer.
Side Story.
Like if there's gonna be a dance battle, there's gonna be like a flyer. They're gonna be like, "Ooh, let's do an open style dance battle," not like out of random, just like.
See, I almost looked at that like how I would assume a lot of it's kind of to the extreme, almost like when they do sports movies, right? So when you watch like a basketball movie, right? I play a lot of basketball, and I'm like, okay, nobody plays like this. Nobody does this in real life. Like, this is not how basketball is played. This is like literally 100% literally planned for this fucking film. So do you like both things equally, or are you more acting, more dancing, or it's about the same?
To be honest with you, I feel like dancing is acting. Like I there's no other way to describe it for me. Because you're moving, and when you're acting, especially if you're in theater, then you're moving a lot, and you have to sell.
Took the words out of my mouth.
Sell it. What it is you're doing is who you are. And with me growing up, I was a competitive dancer, and there's a difference between like, someone who's in the competitive dancing and then somebody who is just taking class recreationally. And when you're a competitive dancer, like I would go from one costume to the next costume, and I'd have to go, throw makeup around my eyes and be this edgy look, and then throw baggy pants on for the next one. And then like some of the costumes I look back and obviously it's so cringy, but I think I learned so much from dance that crossed over into my acting and being open to certain like costumes, if you will, or looks, and being comfortable in that, because, there's some things that I'm not necessarily comfortable in, but I feel like dance has helped me like really dive into letting go and just being open to that.
That's awesome. I mean, who doesn't look back at life and not cringe at what we used to wear? Let's be real. Let's be real. John, well, you never really, you kind of still dress the same.
Really?
Yeah. Like you were never
I wasn't
into,
wearing tight jeans in the 90s.
Yeah,
that's
but
for
you weren't
sure.
wearing like, you weren't part of the baggy jean crew
No,
either,
not that
or
baggy.
the big shirt
Not like
crew.
the
Jenkos?
Jinkos. No.
Yeah.
Hell no.
Dude, I look back at pictures of myself when I was like in high school, and
You were emo, right?
no, hell no,
Oh.
I was not.
I could have swore you had purple hair
No, I did not.
when you had hair.
I had hair. Yes,
When
I
you
did
had
at one point. I look at pictures of myself in high school, and I'm like, I used to have these. Everything was larger in high school, right? We used to wear really baggy jeans and we used to wear real baggy shirts. I remember seeing myself in a t-shirt, a short sleeve t-shirt where the short sleeve was like literally up to my forearm. And I'm like, Jesus. I look at it now and I'm like, how is that a long sleeve? I mean, how is that a short sleeve shirt, bro? Like, what the hell is this? It's just embarrassing, like when I look back. But did you take acting classes?
Yeah.
I mean, you're still rather young, but when you were younger?
Yeah. Well, first it was just drama classes in my school, and then next
like high school? Or college?
A bit in my high school and a bit in middle school. When I was...
You guys had drama class in middle school and high school?
Yeah.
Wow.
The schools I went to.
Did we have that?
No.
It was like, what's it called? It was required at the time.
Was it?
Yeah,
Really?
for my school it was required.
Interesting. I remember we had like a drama club that would put on plays in high school.
Well, my kids dance in school. That's a thing, I guess.
Really?
Yeah, dance class.
That's awesome.
We did not have that. We didn't even have recess when I was in school.
You didn't have recess?
Really?
Nope.
Oh.
That was not a thing in Chicago public schools at the time. Did you have recess?
Yeah, it was.
No.
Yeah, well, I went to a Chicago public school.
Where did you have
Chicago
recess?
Public school too.
Huh?
Where did you have recess? In what school? In Nixon?
Outside. What do you mean?
In Nixon.
No.
Where'd you go?
Inter-American Magnet School. I went to a magnet school.
I rest my case.
Yeah.
That's a little bit different, bro.
Barry and
Where'd you go?
Sheffield.
Where'd you go? Were you in the city?
Are we talking about like high school?
Middle school. Let's go grammar school first.
So middle school, I was in for part of middle school, I was in military school.
Okay.
So,
no recess then.
He was a bad kid.
No.
RMC.
Everyone thinks that, but it was actually like a private school, and it was either that school or in the bad neighborhood that I was living in. So I would leave 6 days out of the week to go stay on campus, and there was like 70 kids that went to the school. It was founded and built by Robert Todd Lincoln, one of Abraham Lincoln's sons. So it was it was like a private school. But there is detention homes, and there is military schools out there that are like what people would consider just for bad kids. This was actually for kids that were, my mom raised me like kind of a single parent.
Yeah.
So, she would save whatever she could. She worked overtime in the hospital at the time to like send my brother and I, to this school for a couple years. So I went to military school in St. Charles, and then went to public school in DeKalb because my mom went to go finish.
So you didn't go to school here in the city?
No, I didn't.
When did you move to the city?
When the world ended in 2012. 2011.
Do you regret that decision of moving to the city?
No.
It's so odd.
I love it.
I regret it for you.
I think it's the opposite, obviously, because you lived in the burbs or out of the Chicago first, and then when people come here, they like it because there's a new experience for them. Because it's like, if you lived in a smaller town, you come here and you're like, holy shit, like, look at this. Look at these lights. Look at these buildings, blah, 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 blah. Like, to me, I'm fucking sick of this building.
Yeah.
Like, everybody, let's go see the Sears Tower. It's just a fucking building.
Yeah.
It's just a building with a bunch of glass and you can see really far.
Or the noise.
I like that he called it the Sears Tower too, because that's what I call it.
I refuse to call it the Willis Tower.
Same.
Call it the Willis Tower?
Did you know that the John Hancock building is no longer called the John Hancock building anymore?
What's it called?
It's like the address now.
Oh.
But I'm not gonna call it that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna call it that. I mean, that's like saying
Are you a Sox fan?
Am I a Sox fan?
No.
He is though.
Are you a Sox fan?
Kind of, sort of.
Okay.
You're a Sox fan?
No, I'm a Cubs fan. My dad's a Sox fan though.
This is like a political problem. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
So like you're either a Cubs fan or you're a Sox fan, right? And if you're not, you're like the enemy, right?
Yeah.
I don't like either one, to be honest. I think they both suck right now when it comes to actual play, right? If you put a gun to my head and tell me to pick one, I'm gonna pick the Cubs because I grew up on the north side. And I used to watch a lot when like Sammy was playing.
Sammy Sosa, man.
When steroids were in and baseball was fun to watch and whatever, and they were hitting home runs like 500 plus feet and shit. It was fun. I mean, when have you ever seen that? John, we were all there when this happened, right?
Yeah.
I don't mean
Well,
no
most
offense,
of
obviously. I'm just saying.
Most of us.
We there was an era of the home run chase.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I remember watching Cubs games, and I've never seen it done ever again, where you're watching a game, and while you're watching the game, in a small window, they're watching every at-bat that person is doing. So if we were watching the Cubs in the corner, they got Mark McGwire batting, and they're watching to see who break. I've never seen that ever in baseball.
Power steroids.
Telling you,
Yeah.
they should just let them play. Just let them play with fucking steroids.
Yeah.
Just make it fun again. Let's make baseball fun again. That should be a slogan.
Red hat.
But no, I mean, I would say I'm more of a Cubs fan because I grew up in the North Side.
Right.
But beyond that, Chicago sports kind of suck right now. All of them.
So it's funny you say that. Like when the Sox won, I was in high school. I thought it was a boring, championship. Like they just swept.
He might kick you out of here.
Yeah,
Right now.
I was like, I heard it's the most least watched World Series game ever. But I mean, my dad, I call him like, hey, congratulations, whatever, and he's like, yeah, he's like laughing and stuff. He's like, I'm like, yeah, you guys got him. It was good baseball. You guys were a great team. We'll get you next year. He's
Great
like,
team.
yeah, yeah. And I go, we'll see what happens next year. He goes, you Cub fans always say that. And then when we hit that, when we got our turn,
Cheated.
like from
He like cheated.
my dad's like, they won't win, son. He's like, I'll take you out to whatever restaurant you want if they win. And this was like probably like a week before they end up winning. And he's like, they're not gonna win. And I remember them winning and being like calling him. And then my dad's not answering my phone for 2 weeks. Like, I was like, this is confusing times because he's like, and then he finally answers his phone. He's like, what do you want? I was like, hey man, what's up? What happened? He's like, shut the hell up. He's like, so it's the most fixed game I've ever seen in baseball. It's a disgrace.
I feel the
Like,
same way.
He's like, come on, man. Aren't we happy for Chicago? Like when the Sox won, I was like happy for them. And he's like, no.
No.
I love to go to U.S. Cellular, Comiskey Park.
You've never been there?
Well, I don't know what it's called now. Is it called
U.S.
like
Cellular Field.
T-Mobile
No,
Arena?
Arena.
No, it's called
Guaranteed Rate Field.
Ameritech Stadium.
Guaranteed rate.
Sprint.
It'll always be Comiskey to me, I guess.
South Bell.
Yes,
Yeah.
I remember going there when it was Comiskey Park. My dad took me to
The new one or the old one?
I don't know about. I just know it was when the Crosstown Classics happened. We went to a game in Wrigley Field, and then we also went to one in Comiskey Park.
Well, it was originally called Comiskey Park when they built the new one, right?
Okay, so that's
No.
a new one. It was
No, it was
Old. Old.
No, I know. I'm just saying when there's the original Comiskey Park. When they built the new one, what was the original name when it opened?
She's so into this conversation.
No, real quick. What was it called originally?
Comiskey.
Comiskey. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So then they changed it from Comiskey. It went to U.S. Cellular Field.
Yeah.
United Stadium.
Yeah. United Auto Insurance.
United.
7732025,000. We've got you covered. Chicago.
Chicago.
God, I listened.
I think it's like TD Jakes Stadium or something.
Basically
Sorry,
what we're saying is that the Sox are
TD
stupid.
Jakes.
I will say if you do go to the Sox stadium, I prefer that stadium over Wrigley. Now
Yeah.
that might be fighting words to some Cub fans, but I'm gonna tell you why. I'm 6'3". Going to the Cubs stadium is a pain in the ass for me because it's an old stadium
Dated.
and you can't really do much in there anymore because you only have so much space. So like the last time I went, I sat in the bleachers, right? It was fun, but like literally the person in front of me was like in my crotch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I had to have my legs spread eagle, the whole 9 yards, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
Jesus.
it's uncomfortable. But then I go to U.S. Cellular and I'm like,
It's nice. It's roomy.
That's how it's supposed to be. Okay,
Yeah.
I get it.
You got
You
a
know?
foot long hot dog and ice cream in a helmet.
So I will give the ballpark that. I mean, if I go buy a large pizza from Papa John's, they'll give me 2 free tickets. So when I take my daughter, to her first baseball game, I'm gonna want her to go to a friendly,
Family friendly.
family friendly. Like there is something like my dad's right about one thing. There are a lot of drunks and
Belligerent,
yes.
idiotic
Yes.
Cubs fans.
Well, so when she's older, she can go to that.
Keep
but
going,
yeah.
guys. I'm gonna check my phone real quick.
But yeah, I mean, for me, I will give the ballpark that. I do end up going to like more Sox games than Cubs because
Yeah.
it is a little bit more affordable and a bunch of people can make it. It's like a good mid point for everyone. Like, hey, let's meet at the Sox game, especially if it's like a day game. You can hang out afterwards. But yeah, I know I give it a lot of shit, but they are fun games. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And let's just talk about how unprofessional that was.
I apologize. Then my phone, I heard it vibrate, then it rang. I forgot that. I never have my phone with my ringer on. But then since I was home all day today and I was expecting a phone call, text messages from you, so I turned the ringer on and I forgot to turn it off. Excuse me, Jonathan.
Okay.
Once out of every 100 episodes, I think it's allowable.
Okay. Yeah.
Madam, what sports do you like, if any?
I used to, before dancing, I wanted to be a basketball player.
Did you?
Yeah.
Do you watch basketball?
Not anymore, sadly.
Man, you might be you know what? That might be a good thing because basketball nowadays is kind of weak.
Weak? Why weak?
Because they don't play like they used to.
Yeah.
They used to play like, I don't want to say men. I feel like I get canceled if I say that nowadays.
Yeah.
They used to play a different style of basketball that was a little more rough, more, competitive. Now it's like, if for example, perfect example, the All-Star game. Basketball has an All-Star game. They scored, think about this. The final score was like 220 to like 205.
Yeah, that never used to happen.
That never happened. That would have never happened.
No.
Back then. They're literally letting people score. But anyway, so you played basketball.
I played a little bit in middle school.
How'd you do?
The first year I was shit. Second year I was getting somewhere. I feel like I was like a good defender because I would literally like put my hands up in the air and be like, you're not going to get this. You're not going to get this. Third year was decent. Drama. I was in middle school, so what do you expect? There was a lot.
So like a few weeks ago.
Yeah. And then in the fourth year, I was like, I quit.
Never mind.
I'm going to do dancing instead.
Well, there you go. Write a script where, I don't know, she plays basketball, she gets injured, she goes into dancing, and then she makes it big there.
I also did soccer and volleyball too, which is cool. But yeah, dancing.
Where'd you go to school? Here in the city?
I went to the first. It's weird. I went to Nettlehorse for
What?
It was at CPS.
Nettlehorse?
Nettlehorse. Yes.
Nettlehorse?
Nettlehorse.
Horse.
Where the hell is that?
That's in Belmont and Broadway.
That's
in
That's a
Lakeview.
middle school?
Downtown.
It's a middle school.
It's a middle school?
Elementary school. I went there for like 4 years in middle school, and then I went to high school in CPS.
What school?
I went to Amundsen.
Amundsen?
Yeah,
That's a
right
good
next to it.
school. It used to be bad.
It's okay.
I always
good
thought of
now.
Amundsen being a good school. I don't remember Amundsen ever being a bad school.
At the time before I was applying, it was, I don't know, as a bad school. I don't know why. That was just rumors or whatever, but I didn't want to go there. I don't know why I didn't want to go there, but
There's only a few schools in CPS that
Yeah.
are going to be bad schools.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like
That's why I dropped out.
if you
or
go to
I told my
Roberto
mom,
Clemente,
Hey,
that's a bad school.
Hey.
Did you go to Roberto Clemente?
No, I was
he
supposed to go to Orr.
That's
Or-
Let's
Let's just say never mind.
yeah, that's a whole different
Yeah,
situation
that's,
over there.
Yeah. It was weird though, because my freshman year, COVID hit and all. So it was
Wow, I keep forgetting
weird.
you're young.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird. And I had a hard time being in school because I knew I wanted to do dance and acting. So I was like, Dad, I can't do this. I want to focus on dance. I want to focus on doing auditions. So my last junior year, I switched to an alternative school, which it was nice. It was only 4 hours a day. I get to it was kind of like homeschoolish, and I had my own flexible schedule. I could go in the morning if I woke up early, or I could go in the afternoon if I didn't wake up early, as long as I did school.
God, these kids
But-
got it good. Now.
Yeah.
What is that?
You had your own personal
Oh my
teacher
God.
too, which was nice. So yeah, I wish I went to alternative school because it would have been a bit more
I wish I would
easier.
have went to alternative
Yeah.
school. There's no such thing.
It's CPS. It's CPS actually.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Holy crap! What the hell?
I told my what's it called? My counselor. I was like, I can't do this. I don't want to drop out, but I can't do this.
Yeah.
And she was like, go to alternative school. I was like, oh, okay. That's great.
Man, kids got it good now.
That's
I
sounds
swear to you,
crazy.
it's so different.
Yeah, it is.
Like it. Now, mind you, you said you were in high school when COVID hit. I was in high school before an iPhone even existed.
He was in high school when Y2K hit.
When Y2K
Y2K was
Yeah.
the big phenomenon.
What class were you?
I'm class of 04.
04? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, high school. Did you enjoy high school? You're fresh out of high school.
She just told you she didn't
I
want to do
hated
it.
I didn't like
So you
it.
didn't like none of it. Like, so even right now, like today, you don't say, obviously you're fresh out of high school. So you would
Yeah.
never say like, man, I wish I can go back.
No,
No?
I wish I was homeschooled. If I was being honest,
Oh my.
it depends on people's experience. Like in some way, I
But
wish.
you also haven't been out long enough.
Yeah, that's true. That's
you know,
true.
like
I'll
I
give
think
that.
you start to think about it differently once life starts to deravel itself. You know, kind of like when you become like when life becomes normal, your normal life day to day as an adult, as an older adult, then you start to say like me, like I would much rather go to high school than go to work.
I could see some
You know, then in
part
the
of
morning.
that.
I mean, you guys dance for a living. That's your guys' job, and you guys love what you do. That's a different story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I'm pretty sure John says the same. I'll say the
Well, I
same
just
thing.
told you I'm getting robbed by my job. So
Like, I
can't
would
be
love
good.
to go back to high school and relive that. I would actually pay attention in school. I would have been a straight A student. Don't fuck.
I would know how to talk to girls in high school.
Oh, right now, yeah,
Go to prom.
yeah.
Yeah.
But do you miss high school, Drew?
No, not really.
Not a good time for you.
It was a great time. For me, it was more like I went into high school, especially I think military school put things in perspective. Like I went into high school with this mindset of like it's just passing time. I got to do what I have to do. I was actually a smarter kid too. Like I graduated 3.8 GPA, but I also graduated early, 6 months early. I only went back to go to prom because I always knew that I wanted to like sing, dance, or act. And so the faster I can get out of that situation, the more I could focus on having a summer open. And obviously when you're young, you're just like, this is the way to go. So yeah, I mean, I just wanted to focus on the arts, anything dance, anything that had to do with the show or getting me closer to an acting gig or whatever. I was trying to just get through high school. And yeah, so I do remember, like I said, graduating early, which was huge because I was like, I have a whole 6 months. I came back to walk and go to prom. And those moments were great. I met some great, amazing people and had some amazing experiences. And it's crazy to think about too, because like I went to high school like kind of in like a country town. It's but there's also a university there, and IU's right there. So I had like kind of a different experience of high school, So like I feel like it helped me grow in certain ways, and there is something about those people that I made friends with that I think if I were to run into them, it would be like, hey, how have you been? And everything's good. But yeah, I mean, I talked to some friends about their high school experience, and they're like, I'm not going back, or I can't wait to go to the reunion. I'm not going to any reunion or anything.
Me neither.
I'm not doing any of that stuff, but
I would.
No,
I think I would.
I don't think
I have. I mean, you got like 20 years before you.
true, but I swear there's no reunions these days now. I feel like they don't do it. They still do it?
Yeah, it's just. I mean, it should be easier with the way technology is now. You can just post on Facebook, and everybody eventually kind of.
Did they just like email you, be like, "Hey, we're having a reunion"?
No, what I see happen now is like most of the time, like a lot of my friends that I went to high school with, we all follow our high school.
Oh,
So then they'll post it on the page of the high school, and then that starts kind of the conversation of when is it, blah 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 blah. I didn't go to the last the was 10 or 20. It's one of the two.
Yeah.
Whatever. Wow, 10 or 20. Whew. Anyways,
I didn't go to the last one.
I don't think I didn't go to it. Not because I didn't want to. I think I didn't. When I went to actually look at it, it already had passed or some shit or whatever.
Yeah. Parents wise, did you talk to them about it? Like, cause had I gone to my mom and dad and said, "Hey, I want to be a dancer or an actor," they probably
Start praying for you.
prayed.
They would have
Oh, yeah.
dosed you in
Dad slapped me
holy
in the
water.
face.
You know it's funny because like I've been doing commercial work like or whatever. I'd book a Value City back to school sale, and like Value City was like where you got all your clothes back in the day for school for me. And I remember getting like I was being in high school and being on this like commercial, and I was the main dancer for it. And it was cool because all my dance friends were like, "Oh, that's great." And it didn't matter how much of those things I did or whatever check I got from stuff like that, my parents were like, nah, like you're gonna, go to school, get an education. And I thank them for that, because that did put things in perspective. And I did attempt college, I did start to go to college. And then I just realized that, like, for me, education wasn't for me, but I don't knock it, because I do think that education is for those who want to pursue that, especially when it comes to something like acting or singing or dancing. There's so many resources at especially in where I went. I went to community college DuPage, and they had some really cool classes that I was able to take and learn a lot about, like, just editing, or like different angles of camera work, and even the acting class, like some of the exercises they would have us do and that stuff I would have never learned, but my parents weren't necessarily, it wasn't that they weren't supportive of me, getting out of high school or focusing on the arts. It's more like they're like, maybe you should try something else. And it's crazy, because that would be the year that I booked the movie. And then, they're sitting down at a table with the newspaper. They're doing an interview on me, like I'm working with Clint Eastwood. And the next day, we have President-elect, Obama at that time. So on the front page of the paper of the Beacon News was me, and he just got elected. And so my dad, I remember him just being like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Like, this is insane. And a bunch of people were texting me, because the movie came out around the holidays, and they're like, oh my gosh, I just saw you. And my phone blew up, and I'm like, the Nokia.
Isn't it the greatest feeling in the world?
The Nokia. Remember the Nokia?
Yeah, of course I remember Nokia.
The brick.
She's like, what?
Yeah.
What's
The
Nokia? Did it have no keys?
Like, everyone's texting me and stuff like that, and they're like, I just saw it. And then like people were taking, like, videos or whatever of, like, the
when you're on screen.
When I'm on screen, and then the end credits, they're rolling, because you see me within the first 20 minutes of the movie, so it's like it happens right away. And I wish they would have aired the other scene, because we beat the crap out of the main character. Yeah, and it was the first time, like, I ever had filmed where the cameraman's on the floor, and you're like, you're kind of punching the dude, the cameraman. You're like, you're hitting the lens,
because it's in first person. It's like his point of view.
Yeah, we flip him off his bike. I got pictures and stuff of that from set, and like some behind the scenes stuff. But man, I wish they would have aired that one. But they, like, when I asked them why they did that, they were saying that because if we became too much of the focus, then there wouldn't be no resolution, because he already had to worry about the Hmong gang, like his family. So if there was us lingering there, then it was more like that was an open end, like kind of like a, what is it, loophole or
That
whatever.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So they had to get us in, make us a conflict, and then this is the real big dogs, like right here, that you got to worry about. So they were like the I guess the main problem. But yeah.
Do you, since you've been exposed to, ask this question to everybody, because I'm curious how many people feel like I do. When you watch films now, can you still, like, get lost in a film, or is it kind of, what's the word I'm looking, like, desensitized? Is that a word?
Kind of, sort of.
Like, for me, for example, I'll tell you what I mean. When I watch a film, like, I went to go watch Ghostbusters, terrible movie, by the way. Don't save your money.
Wait, the new one?
Yeah, wait until it comes out on DVD. That's all I'm gonna tell you.
DVD.
Or yes, DVDs were a thing once upon a time. Wait until it comes out on a stream network. There, better.
Okay.
Is that more age appropriate? Got it. I watch a film like that one, right? And I start to notice every fucking thing, cinematography wise, right? So, like, I know when they're over the shoulder and the mouth that's talking, that they're looking over that person's shoulder, doesn't match what they're saying. Or when they switch back, they're not in the same position or whatever. I started noticing all this crap. I started to watch more of the actual cinematography versus the actual film. Right? So nowadays, films don't really grip me like that. Like, the last thing that gripped me television-wise or anything on screen was the series about Chernobyl. that they
Okay.
made HBO made a miniseries about.
Is that good?
Oh,
I've
it's
heard
fucking amazing.
everyone says that's good, and I got to check it out.
If you're into real life stuff and it's, the concept, the actual concept kind of interests you, but like, excuse me, about nuclear power and all that stuff, it's an amazing show. It's filmed great. It's acted great. Everything. It won like a bunch of awards too. It's just one of those shows that's like, you kind of got to be into that, what actually happened.
Right.
But what say you? Can you still watch movies and still really get lost in it?
It's funny you bring this up because, like, yes and no. I just watch movies that interest me now, where I feel like if I'm gonna watch it, I have to be willing to like kind of get lost, like almost just like, okay, this is gonna be pretend. Like I don't not to compare it, but it's like I'm only using this as a reference because I attended this event with a friend. They invited me, and like WWE, you go there knowing that it's like, okay, we
It's
know
scripted.
Yeah, it's scripted.
Wait, what?
Well, wait, first of all, there's no shame in going into
No.
WWE. You were like, my friend forced me to go.
No.
He picked me up and carried me.
No.
I like wrestling still
I-
sometimes.
It was very entertaining. I'm into boxing and UFC, MMA and stuff.
The real stuff.
But it was very entertaining. It's not my first go to. And this is the other night that I went. And,
So you went to Raw.
and The Rock was
The
there.
Rock was he hates The Rock.
And so I'm making a joke like, hey, is The Rock going to be here? My friend's a diehard, Zeke is a diehard wrestling fan. He's like, shut up, because he likes, whenever I'm watching a boxing match, oh, is that Oscar De La Hoya? And he'll just say Julio Cesar Chavez or whatever. And he knows that like those were fighters of then. And so I'm kind of doing that shit to him.
Mm-hmm.
And then The Rock shows up and he starts freaking out. And I'm like, I'm not going to lie. I stood up and I was into it for that moment. I'm like, okay, I got my money's worth. Like everything else was like, it's like soap opera, and it reminds me of the telenovelas. Is that how you say that?
Yeah, Univision.
Yeah. So it reminds me of those. That, but like when I'm watching a movie now, like I have to know that going into it that like it's kind of like a fantasy or whatever. Like I have to like get into that story that they're about to tell, because I'm a lot like you. I'm and so 50-50. If I find myself like kind of dissecting the camera angles or whatever, it really takes the movie out of it for me. So like I watched the movie the other day, which I strongly recommend. But I was just in like a comedic mood. Ricky Stenicki. It's with the other wrestler guy, Cena, that guy.
Is it a newer movie?
It's on Prime. It just came out.
Oh, that I know what he's talking
And
about.
there's like
No
a
idea.
scene.
Yeah.
There's
But
a
he's
scene.
funny. He's funny.
So
He's actually funny.
There's a scene where they're like filming, and like Zac Efron's like this,
Oh, I
and
know
then
that.
like I had to rewind it 3 times. I'm laughing hard, and then I'm pointing out to my wife. I'm like, look, he's trying not to laugh. Like, and then I could just tell because he could not look at him, and he's looking to the side. I'm like, because like if you're acting, like you can't look at the person, otherwise you're gonna laugh. So you got to hurry up and get that take, especially if you've laughed already.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess to answer your question, it's like 50-50. Like I do overanalyze films a lot, and then there are some when they're a really good film, I don't even have time to really think about it because I'm so caught up in like the story. But yeah, that is becoming more of a normal thing for me to do.
Madam, do you have any say on that topic?
I feel like, lately I've been more sucked into it. I could see how that you can observe whether it's just like how it's filmed or how the acting is. I 100% agree with Drew, what he says. It's 50-50.
What have you done acting wise?
The only thing I did really was student short film.
Okay.
And
we all been there.
Yeah.
We all been there.
Yes, we have.
It was
Yeah.
You have.
it was from what I saw
It was-
too, was really good.
Well, that's a plus already
Wait,
because
where'd
most student
where'd
films.
you see it?
I saw a trailer, something you posted. Like it was like some sort of scene that you were in a compilation shot of like, I don't know if it looked really cool.
It was.
Is that it?
It was it was like 2 years ago. I auditioned for like a student short film. It was in Wisconsin, Madison. And the role was actually a dancer. So I was like, hey, I can dance too and act, which is cool. Like the skill side is like, if you have the skill, that's like a bonus point and all. And it was fun. I got to stay there for like 2-3 weeks.
Oh, that's cool. Where was it and where?
Madison.
In Madison, Wisconsin?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it was fun.
Did it look good though when you saw it? Like quality wise. I mean quality wise.
Quality wise, yeah.
Because that's kind of the chance that's the chance you run with student films.
Yeah, that's the chance.
Yeah, like I did 2 of them. One of them was for DePaul University. That one came out okay. Mm-hmm. And then the other one I did for Columbia. The one I did for Columbia was just not even worth the time. But
really?
No,
Columbia.
but Columbia is more known for cinematography.
Yeah.
But it's a more like also you got to think of Columbia versus DePaul. DePaul is a big private university. Columbia's it's private, but it's smaller. You know, it's more focused on cinematography. But it also depends on the quality of the student, right? Like how interested are they actually there? Do they want to do this? But you don't have any control over that at all. You're just there doing your part of it, you know. Yeah. And you're doing it for free, right? Because the hope is that it's good enough where at least you can use it for a reel. Yeah. You know, but if it was, then that's good for you. I mean,
it was paid.
It was paid?
It was
shit.
good.
Good shit.
Paid student film.
Yep, we don't do that paid shit around here. We give you good film quality. Yeah. That's what we try to.
That's just as good as money.
I wish I could pay people, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's I wouldn't even know what to start, like how to pay someone, right? Like what do I do? Like give you $100?
He's loaded.
That's true.
Who?
Huh?
Who, me? You're fucking crazy. But I think for me, when it comes to films, again, just real quick, just to tie that little section up, to me, it's like we all know, everyone knows that films, TV shows, all that stuff is fake, right? We know that it's fake, but we know that it's super fake, right? Like we know that at some point somebody yelled, "Cut, let's do it again," right? Yeah. We know that at some point someone had a slate with a time code on it and clicked the slate, and then they started rolling. We know that, right? Like when my sister was alive, she used to be a big fan of Chicago PD, right? And I'd walk home, and she'd be watching the show, and she'd be like, "Oh my God, did you see what happened at Chicago?" I'm like, "Milo, you know it's fake, right? Like I worked with that guy. Like I talked with him. We had a scene together. You know, it's fake." And she's like, "But it's so good." I'm like, this is when I started to realize like I'm not the consumer. I'm not the average consumer anymore. You know, I'm different because I'm desensitized. And even if you Google, do most actors enjoy films? It'll say no. Because they're like, we've been on so little. Imagine someone like Robert Downey Jr., right? Been on big sets, big films. Do you really think he might say that at an Oscar thing and be like, "That was an amazing performance"? But he probably, "Yeah, you did good, bro." Yeah. Like to them, it's like nothing, you know? So in a way, I don't like that, but I do like the experience of working on a set. You know, that's awesome.
Yeah. And that's kind of where I was making the correlation with WWE, because like I was entertained and I liked it. But I went into it like knowing that it's like scripted, and I'm over here giving my buddy, you know, crap because he really likes it. And I'm not gonna lie, I've been to like 3 matches, and it's very entertaining. And I'm actually like, as somebody who does dance, to see these big dudes do these things, like off ropes and stuff, you know, it's kind of inspiring. It makes me like, man, I can't let up, because these guys,
the athleticism is legit.
It's
insane.
Legit. It's insane. And it's really cool to see. Like I was peeping the kind of the audience and stuff, and just, you know, seeing the crowd that it brings, and they went from booing The Rock to cheering for him within 5 minutes. And
why?
Well, the thing is that he's playing a heel right now, but yet you don't really
understand that. But
so I don't know what that is either, but I think I do.
The heel's usually the bad guy in the story. He's supposed to be playing the bad guy, but he's an anomaly like Stone Cold Steve Austin. You know Stone Cold Steve Austin, right? Yeah. So Stone Cold Steve Austin started a thing where you cheer the bad guy, right? So he was supposed to be the heel. He's supposed to be the villain of the story, but people liked him so much because generations changed, and we got into the whole, we like the bad guy look. Yeah. Right? So they started cheering him. Yeah. The Rock is, for the most part of his career, has been a babyface. Babyface means he's a good guy. But in this story, he has to play the heel. The problem is even though he's saying bad stuff about the cities and this
Yeah.
and this and this and that, people like him, so they still fucking cheer him.
Yeah.
You know, which is crazy to think about. He'd boo him all day.
Yeah. You don't like, why don't you like The Rock?
Yeah, what happened?
They're all like, he's such a nice guy.
Oh,
He has a
it's
nice
nothing.
smile.
And yet we don't know him personally.
He has products at Target now.
I mean, he does.
Yes, he does.
He does steroids, and he acts like he got his body through hard work, and it's
Of
not for
course,
sure.
man.
John, we've talked about this, bro. You cannot
Well, just
say,
admit it.
Hold on.
Nobody cares. Just
Listen.
say it.
Hold on. She look at you like you crazy, man.
I
Look at-
am crazy.
Listen, here's the thing. I
Yeah.
will agree with you.
Mhm.
Yes, he's juiced. Yes,
course.
he's juiced.
100%.
And ironically, recently I saw a picture of him when he was either in between. He had either just finished filming the game plan, or Gridiron Gangs. But I want to say the game plan because in the game plan he had a slick pushback thing,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken. So he's shaking the hand of somebody,
and
and he
what?
looks really skinny.
really skinny.
He looks really skinny. He looks like his jeans are gonna fall off his hips.
Yeah.
kind of shit, right? And he looks a lot bigger now.
Mhm.
And he was in his
That
in his
doesn't
mid-30s.
happen as you get older.
Usually,
Trust
that's my
me,
point.
I know.
Now, my argument is, and I've always had this argument, is that he can be juiced if he wants to. He's not breaking a law, right? He's not competing.
I get
So
that.
he could be juiced. You just want him to say that he's
but he's
juiced
hawking
for you.
products saying this is
He
going to
does
get you
work
like
hard,
me.
He's
And that's
never
not
said
true.
that. He's never said
I
that.
feel like it's
All he does is post all day, every day
it's-
about how he's in the gym
it's
lifting weights.
insinuated.
He goes to
that-
the gym more than you do.
He travels with his
Huh?
own gym.
No, that's
He
impossible.
wakes up at 4 a.m.
He's
So do I. Who cares?
dude. He goes to the gym a lot, bro. I mean, the gym goes to him, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's easy that way, right?
I'm not saying any. I'm just telling you. I do think he does work hard. Is he getting help?
No, of course he works
he's
hard.
probably getting
You
help.
gotta
He's like
work
50
hard,
something
but-
years old. He's almost 60.
Come on.
Yeah.
You just want him to admit it so you could feel better.
I'd love the guy if he did.
All he needs
Grow
to
some
say is,
balls. Just say it.
I take
yeah.
steroids.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Just like Sammy Sosa. Just admit it.
Oh God, he won't give that up
Cheating
either.
ass coach.
Did you see Sosa was in town not too long ago?
He's white
He was here
now.
for no, he wasn't that white. He started getting some color
No,
back.
yeah,
Oh,
I know.
really?
I do know that I didn't recognize him like a few years back. I was like, what
Well,
happened?
there was a couple pictures of him that he looked like that camera over there.
Oh my God.
Like legit, he looked like that camera over there. Or this microphone per se.
Or Beyonce now. I mean,
She light skinned now?
I don't know what happened. She looks like
She looks a little light skinned. You need to go up some. You good?
Maybe. Well, no, this is good.
Okay.
Let's pull it closer.
So, but he was in town for some event, some signing or
Yeah.
whatever. It's like the first time he's been in Chicago for like fucking 30 years or some shit. And like they keep asking him the same question, like, "Hey, so when are you gonna go back to the Cubs?" And this and that. And it's up to the Cubs, because the Cubs hate him. The organization fucking hates him. And I don't know if I feel like they should hate him or they shouldn't
why
hate him.
would you?
Yeah.
They say baseball. I don't know how you could hate them.
They hate him because
I don't think the fans hate him. The company hates him.
I don't know why.
The Ricketts don't like him because he left them.
They would not exist.
I agree
without
with
him.
you. You're pushing
I
it
don't
there,
know.
buddy.
Baseball was on its way down.
you got a little bit of a point there because like I feel like especially in that time,
Yeah, they did.
even non-baseball fans were watching. Like the women in my family were like, oh my gosh, Sammy Sosa, and they were like, oh my gosh, is he gonna beat Mark McGwire in the home run? You know,
I'm
run
telling
off?
you, it was a thing.
It was a
And
whole.
now
it's a
they're
weird
acting
time.
like, oh, that was it was terrible for baseball. When it was the total opposite.
Well, I mean, the thing is, you got to put how much does it help them?
What?
Somebody fell.
Jesus.
Anyways, well, we'll talk about baseball later. So, do you ever want to get into like directing and filmmaking, or you just want to stick to acting?
So, you know, I like directing in a way, because with dance groups now and being a choreographer, like I do understand direction and positioning and when it comes to concept videos, like I do have a lot of stuff that I've filmed, where I know I want the camera to start off here, so it looks like there's one dancer, and so I'll like hire my buddy, and he'll come through and like it's gonna start off low, and then as you back up, they're gonna do this move and that move, and so then this dancer turns it at 3 and then 5, and there's these cool visuals you can come up with dance, and especially like if you understand those angles and the different things you can do. So I do like directing. I would like to, if the right story or the right movie came around where I can do that. Yeah. But one of the things I wanted to commend you on is being able to do that, because I know it's hard. Like for me as a dancer, maybe it's just my mind. I can't be eating and then listening to my wife at the same time, So it's like, hey, can you help me? Okay, I have to put this down. I gotta go do that. So it's like when I'm direct, that's one thing. Even with Clint Eastwood, I was like really impressed with too, is that he would go from directing and then go to acting, and I'm just like, I think it just takes a lot of experience, because I got to do one or the other. So even as a dancer, I'm like, okay, I'm dancing. Like the last show I danced for like, lap, but probably like 40 seconds. And it was at the end of the dance, because I was so worried about taking away from like the actual piece that I set with all these amazing dancers in the Chicago community. So I was like myself last, because I'm all about that story first. And then like, I almost feel like when I did put myself in, I had to give my whole crew a talk like, hey, if I'm ass or whatever, let me know, hold me accountable, because I don't want this to be like a pity, like, hey, this is my piece, I'm gonna put myself in there. Like, I wanna be just as good as everyone that's in the trenches too. So that's something that I would like to explore, directing, or I have lots of good like writing ideas. Like I have a couple.
Write that shit down.
Yeah, I do have some stories.
Just don't start writing like serial killer stuff, because that's my genre.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I like to write about.
And you're really good at it. You're really.
I kind of like to write about that
yeah.
shit. It's hard, man. And I'm gonna tell you. I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna tell you like I'm some expert, because I'm not. I have a lot of shit to learn. I do a lot of research, and I kind of prepare myself pretty well for stuff like that. But that was very fucking challenging. We're talking about it was 32 minutes, I think was my short.
Yeah.
32 minutes. 32 minutes took probably 2 years off of my life, because it's so much to it, right? And John knows, because I bothered him a lot and asked him a bunch of questions, and we talked about it for a long time. But if you're interested in that shit, do it. Like, try it. I mean, you don't lose anything. It's hard. Like, right, I'll say right now. So right now I'm trying to put together a short film. Obviously, you auditioned for it. Trying to find people, right? Obviously, like everything else, it's like I can't offer you a lot of money to do this work. The only thing I can offer you is, hopefully, I give you something that you can use for your reel.
Right.
That looks good, sounds good, is acted well, the whole 9 yards. That's what I could offer.
Might not be on par with the Gand Torino.
Yes.
But it'll be close.
Be
right there.
But trying to find people that are willing to work for that, quality actors this time around. Trying to find locations is a pain in the ass right now. Like I need to find a bar that I need to do a scene in. That's a little challenging right now. Finding time for it, which is another challenge. Like everyone has lives, right? We all work. Like I work a 9 to 5 basically, Monday through Friday. So I got to do everything on the weekends, and I got to find people that are available on the weekends. And then, you run into people like, I need you for 8 hours, but I only have to this, or why not this, or why not that? And I'm like,
so you're like producing it too. Like it sounds like.
Oh yeah, I'm a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
For that one, I did everything.
He's a triple.
I did a lot. And I edited it. I did all the editing.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's how you say that.
That's crazy. See, man, like.
Well, not all the editing. I had help with that part, but the majority of it was done by me.
Yeah. See, I think those are all great skills. Like to be able to do editing, producing, like you're managing people's time, direct, and then act. Like those are all very, very important skills. And then to try to do a project where it's all together. I mean, that would drive me nuts. Like I couldn't do that. Like I put everything into, I think just acting, because it's so simple. Where directing, I'm like, okay, I have to wear this hat now, and then I got to organize this, and then you have the 9 to 5 or whatever, your job that you're doing, and that would be so hard. So like I always, like when my friends that do this and they do it with dance films, they do it with projects they're working on. I'm just like, you can tell that they're really skilled, that they really care, and way more versatile than me. So those are definitely skills that I think over time I can develop.
But that's what you said differentiates people, right? There's people that'll do something, right? But you can tell they don't, not that they don't want to do it, but that's not something they really want to do overall, right? Like someone who wants to do something will make themselves available,
right?
Right. If you want to be a cinematographer, if I have a job for you, you're gonna make yourself available, right? Like for me, if you want me to film something for you, paid or not, whatever it may be, that's something I like to do. So I'm gonna figure out how to do it. Right. I'm not gonna give you an excuse and be like, well, I gotta go out that night and this and this. Like that's not me.
Yeah.
Right. But I love the stuff that I do. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with auditions. Like auditions trained, kind of put it in my brain that I have to make time for shit.
Yeah.
Right. Because you get auditions randomly throughout the week.
Oh God.
Right. And it'll say, okay, you're out. John knows I come here to do my auditions.
Yeah.
And I'll text him, hey, I got an audition. It'll be random as hell. It'll be like some random ass Wednesday at 2:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And it'll give you what, a day to hand it in, turn it in.
Yeah.
So I got to come in here. I got to drop whatever I'm doing in the afternoon because I want this. So I got to cancel everything I'm doing. Even if it's something amazingly fun, I got to stop that because I need to do this.
Yeah.
So that's kind of become kind of my style when it comes to stuff. So like I will stop everything on a dime.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I think my girl told me, like, after we did The Secrets We Bury, she was like, you need a break.
Yeah.
Because, like, you even forgot my birthday. And I was like, oh. I did.
Yeah. You can't forget the birthday.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I was really dedicated to it. I really wanted to finish. But it was a really long process. It took like almost a year, I would say. It could have been shorter, but we had problems
No, see,
with individuals who remain nameless. But whatever.
I thought it was 32 minutes short. Like I wanted more. And that's what the talk on the car ride home was. Is like we felt like we were watching some primetime, material. And we forgot, like you were talking about earlier.
I was right behind you guys.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, I was right behind you guys.
So you heard everything.
No,
then,
I
right?
was like 3 rows behind you guys. I saw when you guys sat down and when you guys showed up. I saw.
So it's like we're sitting there watching it, like, and even when we watch, like, my group of friends will watch, like, we're notorious for like getting together once a week or once a month, and we have a show together, and we'll eat food and just literally watch. Right now it's Invincible, like the cartoon.
Oh,
or
it's
whatever.
so good.
Before
It
it
is-
is so good, and before that it was what is that one on HBO with the zombies with the Last of Us? Last
Yeah,
of Us.
Oh.
yeah, another
So
one.
what about the
Oh
video
my
game?
God, he's
Yeah, the video game.
Yeah, so we're notorious for doing that, and so when we were watching your film, and there was a lot of great films there that night, there was something different about it where we just knew we all related to it. So whatever the direction was of that film made us feel like it was familiar, but it was different enough for us to be like, this can't be happening. And then, oh my God, this is happening. But it was weird because you think you know. It was a good job of being like, I think I know what's going to happen. No, I don't. I really didn't. No way they're going to do this right now. And then you guys did that. And so, like, so it was like, it's for us, it was like 32 minutes short. We wanted, like, if it was like, it could have been like an hour and a half.
well, that would have took another 2 years off his life, so that wasn't gonna happen.
Because there's so much there that we didn't know. Like there was so much there.
Well, we
like,
cut a lot. We had to cut a lot because, one, we had to sacrifice for filming,
yeah,
right? Because we had problems with scheduling, right? Whatever, right? I mean, we can't, there's water over and under the bridge, right? Whatever. So we had to narrow stuff down because we had actresses and actors that weren't available for as long as we needed them. So we had to, like, okay, we can sacrifice this, so we kept the important parts and we sacrificed some of the backstory.
yeah,
So basically we had written down a kind of a semi flashback of how they met to begin with, but we had to cut it because we didn't have time to film it.
yeah,
Which sucks, but it is what it is. I think that night of that film festival, I thought the clown shoes was a good
Great.
film.
That was great.
That one was good. That was filmed beautifully. Like
Yeah.
the way it looked, I was like, God, I was mad.
Who filmed that? Who?
I forgot. They're friends with me on Facebook. I forgot their names. One of them's gonna be on our podcast pretty soon.
That was great too.
Yeah, it was
Those two were like up there. Like
Bianco was in it. David Bianco was in Clown Shoes. We know David Bianco. He's in everything. That one was good. I liked the cinematography work was really well done. There were some other ones where I was like, yeah. I will say, I was excited when Amaria called me. I was like, hey, you want to film something for me? And I was like, sure. I don't have to do anything else? No. Yes. all I have to do is point a camera. Great. How did you enjoy your experience that? I said that terribly. How was your experience with that?
I loved it. I think you guys, I think you guys ran a tight ship. And what I loved about, I actually thought about this after the fact. Like sports, you have, and I was explaining this like to my teams that I like coach. Like sports, like everyone plays their position, and if you're really good at playing your position, you can score a lot of points, and win the game. And I look at film kind of like that as well. And when I came in, it was like, okay, here's where we're set up. This is what you're going to be doing, because like we all understand as actors, it's a lot of hurry to wait. Like you hurry up, get ready, and then you're just waiting. And I felt like I was in and out, and we did do quite a few takes, but it was cool to see Amaria have this amazing vision. I didn't know what it was going to turn out like, like reading only my part of the thing, but I don't know the full story. It was cool to see how you guys work together, and even at times like had differences in opinions, because that's super important, because he's like, we're not going to be able to do that with this camera here. You're going to have to do this like that. And then she would sit and think. It was cool to see them play their positions and have their expertise. And then when I saw what I was in, I was like, that's why he said we need to do it like this. Like, because you don't really see it like that. Like, because you're filming and he's right there, or there's that camera right there and you walk up to it. So for me, the experience was really good. I think that the story was really moving. My buddy was getting really emotional. He had just lost, a grandparent at the time. And so he was, man, that was a really good film. And I was like, I really, really found a lot of my friends into the story that she was able to tell. And I'm generalizing for everyone out there, but I just think that it's really hard to tell a story. But like, I feel like women tend to be really good storytellers for the most part. However, I do also think that when it comes to like visuals, men are really good at visuals. I'm generalizing, but
That's
it's
so sexist.
I
We're
know.
gonna get canceled
I
right
know.
now.
I don't care. I like it.
I'm kidding. It's fine.
But what I did like, full circle moment, is to see a little bit of those grounds like kind of reversed. Yeah. So to see her visually put something, and then you kind of help tell those stories. Well, this is what's going to happen if he does it like this. To see that, like, now I know, things are changing. Like, and I said I was, generalizing, but now it's cool to see those things happen. And I think that the story was able to be told, and I was impressed with it, and I really had a fun time. I think meeting you guys there and joking around, and it was really laid back. And so I think that really set my summer off like in the right tone, because I picked up a lot of work after that and started filming a couple other projects, which was great, and I loved it. But
You're also on the dive, right?
Yeah, I'm on the dive.
You're just in this new one too. That's
yeah.
a preview for it.
So back to your point too, like I was.
I'm sorry that we're gonna bring you in. I promise.
No,
right
I'm
now.
like, oh my god, he's so cool. I'm literally like admiring him.
No,
Don't worry about me.
No. Yeah, no. So the dive is great. I love it, and like same thing. They run a tight ship over there, and really, really love working with everybody over there. And I'm supposed to be in more, but my schedule didn't permit that specific day.
Enough.
So they had to switch some things up just to get
As long
me
as
in
you're
this.
transparent
Yeah.
with it,
Yeah.
there's not a problem.
I was from the get-go. I was like, hey, this is my time frame. And so, but then things kind of went over, so I'm not in it as much as I was like written in. But you know, the goal is to bring me back more. So
There you go.
bring me back, Jack.
I think it's one of those things. Like, I don't think there's a problem with people, you know, if you're not available, you're not available. That's fine.
Yeah.
I think the problem is if I explain to you, for example, let's say you booked the role that you auditioned for me, right? I'm gonna explain to you at some point. I'm gonna say, look, we're looking at maybe for your scenes that you're in, you're looking at 3 days that we need, right? Whatever days those might be, Saturdays, Sundays, whatever. Probably gonna be this long. You tell me, are you available for that type of a schedule?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you tell me yes, right?
Yeah.
Now, my expectation is that you're available for those days.
Right.
So then when I schedule you for those said days, you don't text me back and tell me, oh, but I have this.
Right.
You know, then that's when it starts to get frustrating. Now, I'm going to try to accommodate because I know things come up. But if you tell me, like if I tell you, same thing, let's reverse the roles. You're looking for somebody and I tell you yes. So now you expect me to be there, right?
Right.
And if I change on you last minute or all of a sudden I don't have this availability, that's kind of frustrating,
Yeah.
you know? And I'm like, you wouldn't do that if it was Chicago PD,
Yeah.
right? So why would you do it now?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm not paying you. I get it. John's over there like, he's like, you know, I'm not paying you. But sometimes things are beyond pay,
Right.
right? You have to be committed to certain things. And I
Yeah.
think this is, for me, that's one of those things. I don't miss.
Yeah.
If I say I'm going to film this day, I'm going to film this day.
Right.
I'm not gonna miss. I'm the first one there, and I'm the last one to leave. Yes, because I have to pack everything up. But still, that's beyond the point.
Yeah.
Like I expect the same dedication.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe not as much as I am, because I
Yeah.
get it. I'm kind of extreme, but I expect the same thing, especially if you're trying to make it in this business.
Yeah.
You know, but it's hard, man. Like doing films, like I have fun with it, but then it is very stressful. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
You know, and then when you go and you see it on screen, it's kind of like, hey, oh, when you said that you know the twist and stuff, and I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, that's the greatest feeling. He knows because I planned that twist. Like I like twists and
Yeah.
stuff. I remember the first time we went and I showed it. We had a little screening of it, and people reacted to the twist, right? So when the daughter comes out, and then they're all like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I got it. I got the reaction I fucking wanted, you know, or whatever. And then even in the other one, in the film festival, there was a guy next to us who was saying like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I was like, don't go there. Don't do it. It can't. No, they did. It was really, really risky, but like the reward was so great, especially as someone that gets to experience it. So it's one thing like when you create it and you're like, you know, it's like, you know, comedy, like you hope that's going to be funny.
Yeah.
And then some stuff doesn't land. But this it was like being on a turbulent flight, knowing that it's going to land, but like, do you want it to land because you're not ready to get off? Like, that's what it felt like. And so, yeah, I appreciate that, you know, that dedication that you put towards that. And I actually, to circle back too, like, I'm just like you, where if I dedicate myself to something, if I book anything, you know, paid, little, lot, whatever, I'm there. Like, I'm just gonna, I block it off. That's my day. That's what I'm doing. And so just to prepare, because you never know. You know, even with I think Amaria's thing, I had to come back.
yeah, because we had to reshoot a part because it was rather dark or something. We had a technical problem with that.
And that was after I was in Ireland for like a week and a half. So I had been eating and drinking beer like the whole time. And
If you look carefully, your hairstyle's a little different.
yeah,
I think.
it's
a
Came
little
back
different.
30 pounds heavier.
I mean, I see it. Everyone else that watched it was like, no, I don't see a difference. So that's
the
good.
music.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of
But
movies.
I see it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, man, that's like a week and a half of like eating whatever you want with like Irish, you know, like drinking.
What do they have over there?
Just everything that's not preserved. Like I remember getting Cheerios for my daughter at the grocery store, and like I tasted them. They were on like the plate. I'm like, oh, this is a bad box. And then I went and got another box, and I'm like, no, their stuff goes bad right away because there's no preservatives. And so it's a lot of meat, a lot of potatoes, like everything they have here, but it's just a lot like less crap in it. Like there was no, like at the grocery store, one thing that threw me off, there was no energy drinks. There was like one aisle that like of like different waters and one electrolyte drink and then like one like Coca-Cola or whatever. And they had that, but like everything is just like fresh produce.
They're not big on coffee either, are they?
Not, I mean,
They're tea people.
they're tea. Yeah, everything was tea.
I could never.
You don't like tea?
Huh?
No?
No.
Why not?
It doesn't
You drink
energize
coffee?
me.
Do you drink coffee?
I'm a tea person, but I drink coffee every once in a while.
Ugh.
I drink my
Coffee's
coffee
disgusting.
black.
I'm the only Hispanic person you'll probably find that just despises coffee.
Oh.
I cannot drink
I
coffee.
drink Coca-Cola in the morning.
Yes. No, I don't. I do not.
Fucking
First of all, what the hell's the
gross.
difference? Well, what? Okay, we're not gonna get into that argument.
There's a difference between the Mexican Coca-Cola. And
of course,
There is difference. There's a
big
difference.
difference in there. But I don't think if you're gonna drink caffeine in the morning, don't criticize me from where I get my caffeine from.
I
It's
mean,
the same vice.
I don't know if it's the caffeine waking you up or the copious amounts of sugar that are waking
Whatever
you
it may
up.
be, but I'm just saying, don't criticize me because I drink
All right.
soda in the. First
It's
of all, I
gross,
don't.
but-
Why is it gross?
Because it's Coca-Cola.
So
And
you don't
it's
drink
the
Coke?
morning. Yeah, with a pizza
That's
at
like
night.
me saying. That's like me saying. So do you think? So in reality, this is when we get it off topic. And so in reality, you think 4 hours, 5 hours makes a difference between when you can drink Coke or not?
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
that's stupid.
I wouldn't even drink it 5 hours after I get up. It's got to be minimum of 10.
Anyways,
That's gross,
I
man.
don't
Grow
drink-
up.
coffee is
Everybody
gross.
drinks coffee.
Why?
You sound like my.
You know
my-
what's disgusting? I'm
My
sorry.
kids drink coffee
Are
sometimes.
we all Hispanics here?
Yeah.
Hispanic.
Yeah.
What nationality?
Mexican.
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 Mexican. You're Puerto Rican.
Why
I know
are
he
you
doesn't look
pointing at me? I thought you just told these people
Are you
you've
Mexican?
known me.
No, I'm Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican?
I'm Puerto Rican.
Are you
You
Puerto
know-
Rican?
Yeah.
I know it's weird. It's weird to say, right?
Puerto Rican best friends.
He's Puerto Rican, but he looks Caucasian as hell.
I live in Humboldt. People think I'm white all the time.
You live in Humboldt Park?
Yeah, I live in Humboldt Park, and they well in Humboldt Park they think I'm Puerto Rican, but like people all the
You're
time.
gentrifying, man.
So, they think that all the time, and then you know, it's just it's funny because I'll have my family come over, walk around the neighborhood, and they're like really confused because a lot of them are.
I think it's because you don't have an accent when you speak English.
Oh yeah,
Like a lot of Mexicans that I know,
they're like no manches,
but that's when they
There
speak
it is.
Spanish. That's obvious.
Yeah.
But when they speak English, a lot of them usually have something that kind
They
of
have somewhere to. They
Yeah,
have an
that-
accent.
yeah,
they're
like-
trying, yeah.
when you speak clean English, you're like, I don't know where to put them. You know, like people think
Yeah.
I'm a terrorist, so I mean, it's because I look like one, I guess, because of the beard and the whole 9 yards. But whatever.
The size
But,
of an orc.
What the hell was I trying
Lord
to
of
get
the
at?
Rings. Huh?
What was I getting?
We were
at?
talking about coffee. I actually don't drink coffee, but you asked if we're all Latino.
Oh God.
Why did I ask if you guys are all Latino? Oh,
I don't know. Because
so this is when it's disgusting to me. So I had some relatives over
Mm-hmm.
from Puerto Rico. In Puerto Rico, they drink a lot of coffee.
Yeah.
That's what they drink, right? And in Puerto Rico, there's weird things. So like here, if you were to eat a piece of bread, like ham and cheese, do you put mayonnaise on bread?
I don't put mayonnaise on anything.
Would you put mayonnaise on a sandwich?
Depending on the day.
Would you put mayonnaise on a sandwich?
No.
Okay. Now, would you put butter on that sandwich?
Hell no.
Would you?
Maybe. I like the idea.
Butter on a ham sandwich?
Why
Yes.
not? If you toast it,
You gotta toast it and put the.
Are we
on the
toasting
bread.
it?
No.
Oh.
Just regular. You're talking about just a French
no,
roll
God,
piece
no.
of bread.
a little butter.
No.
Not toasting?
No toasting.
Really?
Yeah, just would you?
I don't even eat the bread if
Okay.
it's not toasted.
So butter is a weird thing in Puerto Rico. Butter is like every piece of bread has to have butter, right? So then they'll drink their coffee with their bread and a piece of butter, and then they like to eat cheese with coffee, right? I don't understand that combination, but nonetheless, the most disgusting thing I
It's a
saw
good combination if you're
a coffee drinker.
no, if you haven't shit in a long time.
Okay, listen, I didn't want to go there, John, but all right. The most disgusting thing I think I saw them do, they grab a piece of cheese and they either dip it in the coffee or they throw the piece of cheese in the coffee. And I'm like, huh.
They drink the coffee with the cheese?
Yeah, it was weird.
That's a Puerto Rican thing.
Oh, it was the most weirdest. I'm like, I don't know how those two things go together. How does coffee and cheese go together?
Does it dissolve or do you eat like the chunks of it?
I'm assuming you eat the chunks of it. I'm
Or you
assuming. I
drink
would
the
hope.
chunks
No.
of it.
You drink the
Like,
juice,
do they-
slurp it in.
I'm assuming they have a
like, you guys even your tortas are different, right? Like the
We don't have
We don't use the word
tortas.
torta.
you
What
know
do you
Like
guys
torta is like a
use?
sandwich.
Yes.
Sandwich.
yeah, that's
sandwich.
Un sandwich?
Un sandwich. You just gotta say it with accento. That's it.
but it is
Oh.
it's interesting because like having
You know, hold on. We do use the word torta. I've heard it used a lot in rap songs. But torta for them would be like
Sandwich?
repartimos la torta. Like they're talking about money. Like
Okay.
like a lot of
Yeah,
money.
that's-
That's how they kind of use it in the
We
street.
don't have an actual.
Yeah, I don't think we use that
Torta.
word like that. But like torta sandwich in like a Mexican, right?
yeah. Well, so it's like a whole different style of sandwich.
Not like the one you get
Yeah.
at a Mexican restaurant.
yeah.
Gotcha.
So like, like most people would think it's like just like a ham sandwich. And like no, but it's interesting because I do have
I
family
might
that
get a torta on my way home.
those are so good. But like I have family in Puerto Rico that I visited when I was younger, and I remember just being like, oh man, Spanish sounds a little different, too a little bit. and just like the just being over there it was beautiful. You've obviously been, right?
Yeah.
It was really beautiful, like because you don't really. I was a little kid. I don't really know what to expect, and meeting my family there for the first time. Never met them ever, and went to all the coolest spots, like all the historic spots, and just it was a whole experience that like as an adult now I want to go back because it was definitely really beautiful.
I have mixed feelings on Puerto Rico.
Okay.
I think it's a beautiful place, right? I think it's pretty. I think it is for what it is. It's awesome, and I'm proud to be Puerto Rican. But I grew up here,
Okay.
right? So being somewhere where I cannot drive to a 24-hour Walgreens or a store or how they like to say a Walmart.
A Walmart.
Well-
You know,
Walmart?
they say
Walmart.
Walmart,
Walmart.
like what, like almost like it has a G in it.
With a G.
Because over there is a different type of living.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, Puerto Rico to me, and I don't mean it in an insulting way, it is what it is, right? To me, Puerto Rico is like almost a third world country,
Okay.
right?
What?
Because, what do you mean, what? Have you been there? When's the last time you've been there?
Parts of it, I guess I could see that.
You know, like besides the big cities, the metros, you know, like besides those places, everything else is kind of campo.
Yeah.
You know, and like you have to drive down a mountain to get to the pueblo to try to buy something or
Yeah.
whatever. Here we don't do that. Here you go around the corner. There's Portillo's around the corner. There's this around here, over there, blah, blah, blah. We do live in a city though. I understand that. I just feel like Puerto Rico is very underfunded,
Yeah.
right? They don't have the funds for it. I go back and forth with my aunts over whose fault this is, right? But I wouldn't be able to live there.
Right.
I grew up in the city, so I'm used to the benefits that we have here, right? That we don't that they don't have over there.
Yeah.
Like obviously over there, you have a hurricane, you're out of power for half a year.
Right.
Yeah.
Here we don't have that problem. Here, if the power goes out, about 2 hours, ComEd comes out and fixes it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's different. I'm just too used to living in a city or in the States per se
Yeah.
than to go back there. Yes, I am privileged. I hate to say it. I'm privileged.
Yeah.
I am.
I do remember that.
It's beautiful though.
It is beautiful. Like, so if you're going there to visit, like,
Great.
yeah,
Yeah.
and your money goes a little bit longer way too. But yeah, I do. I mean, but like,
Did you drive out there?
I didn't drive. I mean, my uncle did.
Did you go up the mountains? Like
Yes.
into the mountains?
Yeah, it was.
Did you fear for your life?
Yeah, I mean, I was.
It's scary as hell over
Yeah,
there.
and,
John, you've never driven over there. Shut up.
What are you talking about?
Oh, you've driven in the DR. Never mind.
Which
Okay. It's
is-
about
that
the
might be
same.
worse.
It might
it's
be the same.
worse.
That might be
It
worse.
is worse. So
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, I remember like where my uncle lived, like he had a couple houses and they were in the mountains. So like I remember hearing the roosters all the time, dude, like all the time. And I'm
Yeah.
trying, like it's the middle of the day,
fuck
it's
them
nighttime,
roosters.
and then like
Fucking
Looks
you
like
had to,
chicken to me.
Lop their
you
heads
had
off.
you had to sleep with the net.
Oh, for the bugs.
They had a nice house. I mean, their house is really nice. And then he built like a whole guest house. And then like literally, I'm like 11 years old or something, so I'm like playing with the rabbits and chickens. He had the little farm and stuff like that. And then like it was always rice and something every day. Rice, something.
Gandules.
Yeah, rice and something.
Did you at least get to pick out your protein like you do in Red Lobster? I want that one.
So I did, and I'm chewing this thing. Like one night I'm chewing this, and you know, and I'm just like, this is really different consistency. I'm like, this is really good. What is this? And he goes, remember that rabbit you were playing with yesterday? And I was like, he's just kidding. He's just kidding. Like they
Traumatized you
dude,
right
he
there.
killed the fucking rabbit, bro. I'm about to start crying because I ate that rabbit, man. And then I went to go play with it the next day. And I was so sad, dude. Like it is traumatizing. And for him, it was like he just laughs about it, like it was nothing.
But they live a different lifestyle.
They do.
You know, I mean, it's funny because you said, oh, he built this whole guest house. I'm like, oh, it's easy over there. You don't need no fucking permits over there. You just build whatever the fuck you want to build. Here you gotta have permission.
Build
yes. You think
Some
you
type
think
of
anyone
permit.
cares? You think anyone cares what you're doing on your property?
Yeah.
So over there you own terreno, you own a land, right?
Yeah.
So you could do whatever you want on that land. Obviously, there's certain things if you want to power the land, obviously you need to hire contractors to run electrical, all that bullshit. But I don't think you need to go to the fucking like my mom lived in Vega Baja. Okay, I don't think they go to the pueblo of Vega Baja and tell them, hey, I'm gonna build a driveway on my property. I don't think you need to do all that.
Yeah.
You just
fuck
build
it.
the shit.
Yeah.
First of all, people just take up houses there and just live there for thousands of years. You know,
Yeah.
not thousands, but for a long time. So I mean, you think they care about a building permit?
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
Right.
Half the houses there
No.
look fucking condemned. The people live there. I mean, let's be real.
So I did make friends like there, like for that week, like 2 weeks I was there, and I remember going to their house and like their floor was like dirt, like their walk, like when you first went in, it was like dirt, and it's under construction, like that's the way I looked at it. And then the rest of their house was like nice, you know, like or more built. But I do get what you mean. Like there is some parts where it was like now looking at it, I never thought about it until right now, until you pointed out actually that, yeah, like I walked in and it was like a nice door and then there was like just dirt, like, and then there was tiles. And so, I mean,
Fucking porcelain tiles.
so, and
The whole house. The whole
Yeah,
house, nothing
yeah.
but porcelain tile.
but I do remember that you were talking about driving. We had to like wait because there was like a cow, and like the cow was crossing the street, but it like stopped, and they were honking at it and stuff, and then it had a bird on its back, and I remember like that's back when you had Polaroids. Remember the Polaroids? And I was just taking a bunch of pictures, you know, because I thought I was in Jurassic Park. But I mean,
The theme song was playing in your
I
head.
just thought, I'm like, dude, you don't see this back home. But then realistically, like,
Yeah, we do. We see it with geese, though.
yeah.
When the geese are crossing the
Yeah.
fucking street, them motherfuckers don't want to
Yeah.
move either.
Yeah.
God damn.
But yeah, I mean, when we went to like,
Did an old man come out and say, "Welcome to Lares"? Or something like that?
what? No. What I did, I mean, I don't know. There's something about that way of living that was very like welcoming and like it felt like home, at least from my experience. But now, like kind of back to what you said about the city is like, but I don't live there. But I'm sure if I live there, I might be like, maybe I want to move or something. You know, I don't know.
Nobody's happy with what they got.
Yeah.
Let me
Let's
tell
be
you.
honest.
Let me tell you
Yeah.
another thing. I and this one's a little TMI, but it's funny. So I remember
You had the shit outside.
No.
Okay.
It wasn't that bad. Relax.
All right.
Relax, killer. I'm pretty sure somewhere in the island, someone's shitting outside.
Yeah.
But, so we were staying at a resort, me and my mom, right? And like when we were growing up, I don't know if you were the same way. My dad, when we were growing up, me and my dad would not let us flush toilet paper
Oh yeah.
in the toilet because the concept was that it would clog the toilet. Were you the same way? No, you just flushed.
Yeah.
We would always have a basket and throw the toilet paper in the basket.
Yeah. I thought that was a Mexican thing.
No,
I thought it was too.
So hold on. So okay, I'm not alone on this. Good. We know what we're talking about here. Okay. So we go to Puerto Rico, and I throw some toilet paper in the toilet. It doesn't say anything, right? Flush toilet. It went down. No big deal. I wake up in the middle of the night. I go in the bathroom. My mom had used the bathroom a second before me. I went to flush the toilet, and the toilet starts to fill up. I took a piss, right? And it starts to fill up, right? It overflows. Why are you laughing so hard already? I can freaking hear you. So it overflows and whatever. And then the guy comes up and he starts cleaning whatever from the hotel. And he's like, did you guys flush toilet paper? And I'm like, my mom was the last one. She said no, right? And he's like, oh, is that the plumbing here is very small? Because like, you're from the States, right? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, over there, it's. I'm like, we can't even update the plumbing.
Yeah.
Come on, I mean,
That was
this is
that
crazy.
Mahong of
You would have, you would go
the
there,
fucking coffee cheese.
Pinche mojón.
bro. There you go. But it's so different, like, and then over there, bro. I swear to you, Puerto Ricans are tough, right? Because in the sense of like they deal with heat very well. But these mother flowers can't deal with cold to save their lives. So I went to Puerto Rico twice last year. I went in September. It was miserable. It was like 110 degrees every morning, every day, right? It's terrible. They're chilling, right? Because they're used to it. I'm from Chicago. I had to go back in December, right? I went to December, and the temperature outside was like at night maybe 71.
That's nice.
And these
That's great.
people are in winter jackets
Yeah.
outside. And
Yeah.
I'm like, y'all some motherfucking pussies around here.
No,
Y'all
my-
can't- holy shit.
My wife's Dominican. She's from there, and she tells me all the time, "Oh, there was this winter where it got real bad in the mountains. It got down to like 40 degrees, and people were dying." I was like, "Really? That's like short weather here."
I'm dead ass. Like here, I mean, I had some cousins that came over here. They're from Florida and whatever. And but it was really cold. Remember when it was really cold last year?
Yeah,
We had like a week.
vortexes and all that.
Yeah, we had 1 week last year in the winter that was really, really cold. And I had some family over from Florida. And they were suffering, but I get it. It was like negative
Yeah.
-10.
Yeah.
Okay. But then when my
That's
aunt
still
was
not
here for the funeral of my sister or whatever not too long ago, they're like freezing cold. I'm like, it's not
It
that bad.
wasn't bad. I wore a jacket.
I mean, it was
Yeah.
windy,
Like,
but it
it was-
wasn't like I
yeah.
can't stand outside for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
No,
It was, they're just dying.
their
I'm like,
blood's congealing.
yeah, we can't, we're built differently.
We are because we can get it pretty bad both ways, and I think that's what makes us difficult. Like to like when it comes to like when people are traveling to Chicago is because we get it
We
bad
adapted
both ways.
well.
Yeah.
We adapted
We're,
both.
we're bipolar, you know. That's what they say.
Well,
like,
it takes a
when
while.
Yeah.
comes to weather. But yeah, no, it's
Do you prefer the winter or the summer?
about
Fall.
No, I'm not talking about preference. I'm just saying, would you rather deal with the winter or the summer?
Chicago winter?
summer.
Yes,
Summer.
and
I'd
Chicago,
rather deal with the
Chicago
summer.
summer.
I'd rather deal with the summer. And I only
Summer.
say that because you know, my house and stuff, like when we went through those polar vortexes, like you could hear like the house makes noise, like it adjusts and stuff because of the cold.
Yeah.
And back when we had a dog, the dog didn't even want to go outside. And like when your dog like freezes over, like that's the hardest thing to watch.
He freezes
Like
over.
no, like no.
Chihuahua?
Do you guys know
Yeah,
we had
something small.
a Shiba Inu, so they're like medium sized dogs.
They got a lot of fur,
Yeah.
don't they?
And she had a jacket and shoes. Like we went the whole 9 yards because it was really cold. But this dog would just stop and just boom, just fall over. And I'm like, dang, just go. Like,
All
and-
over frozen?
But it wasn't the only dog doing that when I was driving and stuff. Like especially when we had those polar vortexes, you could see like a lady dragging. Like I'm like, pick it up. Like I'm like, pick up the dog. Like it can't move. Like you don't understand. Like their bones like are
No,
just,
their joints
yeah.
like freeze up.
Yeah, so I think I prefer a nice summer because there's so much to do, and even if it's really really hot, I'm just got more adaptable with that.
yeah.
I think I'm the only person that's gonna say I rather deal with the cold.
Really?
Yeah, hell no.
I rather deal with the cold, and I'll tell you why. I worked outside at one point in my life. He works outside, and I worked in cold warehouses and hot warehouses in the summer. Most places, by law, have heat, right?
Uh-huh.
You don't have to have air conditioning. So unless you work in an office that has air conditioning, I would 100% rather deal with the cold because at least there's some heat, and I can hide from the cold. I cannot hide from the heat unless you have air conditioning. Like even I remember I worked at a warehouse where it was fine if the garage doors were closed, but once you open it and we had to leave them open for like hours to load trucks, it'd get freezing cold in there. Like that polar vortex that you're talking about. I had to work those days. Freezing, right? I had a freeze. I had my company order me a freezer suit because it was that cold. I still would rather deal with that than sweat
Got it.
because I can't hide from the heat.
Yeah.
I can hide from cold. I can wear layers and I'm fine.
Yeah.
You know, it's easier for me to fight that than to fight the other. That's my opinion. My opinion.
Yeah.
You're
yeah, that
wrong.
is
I can see your point of view.
that is you know, when I first moved to Chicago, we had an apartment, bachelor pad, if you will, but it had no central air. So we had to buy like our own
Window units.
Yeah. And I just remember being like, wait, I was from the suburbs, so I was like, why is this not a thing? I will say, when I went to France, I did a whole Euro trip a few years back, and we went to Paris, and it was for our honeymoon at the time, and we were texting the Airbnb guy, like, hey, it's getting kind of hot. Like, where's the AC? And he's like, oh, this is Paris. There's no central air anywhere. So like if you go sit down at a pub or a restaurant,
Just
they
sweaty
just
ass.
open up the windows, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, I can't even eat fish right now, dude. Like I can't eat like vegetables because I'm just gonna sweat it all out. I don't even want to have a drink because it's like you're gonna,
It's terrible. The way I look at it also is like when you sleep, do you like to sleep in a warm room or a cold room?
cold.
Cold?
Yeah.
So then you guys literally agree with me.
Yeah.
You guys just don't want to.
means nothing.
I mean, yes, it
What
does.
are you talking about?
Yes, it does. Are you able to sleep? Why are you more comfortable sleeping cold than hot?
I don't know.
Because
You put a blanket on. Feel more
Because you can
comfortable.
feel
layer.
warm.
Yeah.
That's my
You're with
point. You can
layers.
layer up, but that's my point. In cold situations, you can always layer up. But when it's hot out, back when I was a kid, before, mind you, I'll never live in another house without central air conditioning ever again. That's the most amazing thing ever invented. When you start to sweat sleeping, it doesn't matter how many blankets you take off. If you're hot and you're
bad.
sweating, you're
Yeah.
not sleeping.
yeah.
Well,
Period.
that's your first mistake. You got a bunch of blankets on.
No, I'm just saying in general. You could be butt ass naked, but if it's hot in the room, you're
Yeah.
going to sweat regardless.
Yeah.
Once
That's true.
once the fitted sheet is sticking to you, I can't sleep anymore.
Yeah.
And if your fan is not cooling you off, then you're like,
You're fucked. You're royally fucked.
Yeah.
And I can't even open. First of all, my air conditioner in my house was to ever fail, I'm fucked because I can't really even open my window in my room because it's tied to the alarm system. So I can't turn on the alarm system if the window's open.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
At that point, fuck the alarm system.
That's true. That's true. Get robbed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sleep sweaty or get robbed. Get robbed.
Both
Fuck it.
just as bad.
It is. Now that you put it that way, like sleep. That's the first thing when you were talking about. I'm like, yeah, I would not be able to sleep in the heat though. But thinking about like having the ability to have central air, I'd rather deal with the Chicago summer. But I didn't take that into consideration, not having central air, because I definitely do not like.
How about your
sleeping.
car? Imagine a car without air conditioning on a really, really hot day.
Just open up a window and drive fast.
But the problem here's the thing that too, I guess you could do that. But again, what's more likely to work in a vehicle, your heater or your air conditioner? Heater's always gonna work, right? Remember my dad's had a bunch of cars. The car that he has now is the first car he's ever had that has air conditioning. He bought it a few years ago, right? First car ever. So imagine me. My mom,
he's living proof that it can work. No, I'm just kidding.
but he's from Puerto Rico. He's used to that
It's
shit. Me, my mom, my dad, and my two sisters in a cramped ass Chevy Monte Carlo, and 3 kids in the back, sweaty as hell. You imagine?
Leather seats.
Man, no, I can't do it. I can't. Do it.
Yeah.
But we'll start winding down. So what do you got planned going forward? What are you looking for? Are you trying to find more gigs? Are you going to start writing? What's your plan for the next few months?
Yeah, so I'm auditioning all the time. Just last week I had about 3-4 auditions, which
Who are you with?
was great.
Who's your agent?
Dream
you were Dream
Team.
Team? Everyone's a Dream Team.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, and so Dream Team, and then I am represented out like in I call it the South, but in some other states. So where Dream Team doesn't represent me, I'm represented by Heyman Talent, which they get me work in Ohio, Mississippi,
I thought you were going to say Paul Heyman for a second.
Louisiana.
Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman's representing him.
Oh, because he's a
said it.
mouthpiece for most people. I got you. You know who Paul Heyman is?
No, I have no idea.
Paul Heyman is the guy who comes out with Roman Reigns in WWE.
Oh, okay.
He's
okay.
the little chubby
Brock
guy.
Lesnar.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar. He's always been like a
Formerly-
manager for wrestlers or whatever.
Okay.
That's why he brought
See,
him.
when I was growing up, I watched wrestling a lot. But that was like
He was the guy who ran ECW. Remember ECW? Extreme Championship Wrestling?
that came after my time. I watched when it was WWF, and that was with like Bret Hart and like
Oh, that was earlier.
yeah, I was a kid and it was like cool, like
Yeah, same as
like
us.
the thing and
Early 90s.
and then I kind of just got really into boxing, and like I said, the MMA stuff. So I do watch the matches now, but it's like I mainly go with friends. They're like, hey, you want to go? And it's like an event. It's like a whole
Sure.
thing. It's like a
Yeah.
concert, you know. But yeah, so I'm back to what I was saying before.
Auditions.
Oh yeah, auditions. Yeah, I mean, I'm always doing that, and I think like auditioning is a win too, because for me, it's like I got to get my reps in. If I'm not, if I'm not in some sort of like acting exercise, then I have to be exercising my body, my mind, something. So auditioning. I'm also working with my crew. I'm gonna take them to LA to compete at World of Dance LA because they won. They're the champions of Chicago this past year. So shout out to Phenom. And I'll also be with my crew Inside Out there, my city crew Inside Out, because they'll be showcasing there. And they're the future champs. And so I'll be doing that this summer. So yeah, just teaching at conventions, traveling. Besides that, I mean, just staying busy with whatever I can.
Right on. Right on. Missy?
Same thing with him. We're kind of like similar lifestyles, except I'm not like a mom or a dad. But yeah, staying busy with auditioning. I feel like right now for me, I've been having a hard time balancing both.
Who are you
dance-
signed with?
I'm agentless.
You're agentless?
Yeah, so I find my own auditions.
You find your own auditions?
Yes.
That's pretty cool. That's hard.
It is hard, especially with like
Where are you finding them? Like on backstage and stuff like that?
backstage, actor access, and then
But
like
I would suggest you find yourself an agency because you're not really going to see
I
the
tr-
majority of the stuff.
that's the thing too. That's a hard thing. Also, getting the agent too.
Audition. You got to try. You got to
Yeah.
you got to put your hand in there.
I'm kind of like not putting myself out there because I'm like thinking, they're not gonna like my resume. Maybe
It
I
doesn't
don't
matter.
know. No, you just do it.
Well, everyone has a start,
Yeah.
True.
right? You have to start somewhere. I'm assuming most agents know that people that are looking for if they don't have one already, they're probably just starting.
Yeah.
So you're not going to have much of a resume to begin with. I didn't have a resume at all when I got mine. You know, so you just got to put yourself out there and just, I mean, what's the worst they can say? No.
Yeah, they're gonna say no or
And then
ghost
that's okay.
you.
That's okay. Then you
Yeah.
go to you
Yeah.
work on it more and you go to the next one.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah. I mean, I have my package. I just haven't sent it out. Ever.
I would suggest you that should be a goal of yours, just so you can start auditioning for the big shows, because you're not going to be able to get in the door in the big shows. It's hard. It's
Yeah.
really hard to get.
It's
in the big
hard.
door.
I mean, the most you can get out is like open casting calls or that when you see on social media.
Right.
Yeah.
I got lucky once because when it used to be, who used to do the casting for Chicago PD? What is it?
Wasn't Simon?
Simon Casting.
Simon
Casting.
Yeah.
Because they just changed them recently. I
Yeah.
think. One time I saw Simon Casting posting something, and I auditioned for it, and I got a call back. I didn't get the gig, but that was like the closest thing I got without an agent. Then
Yeah.
I never saw it again. And then when I got my agent was when I started seeing all the shows. Like when I was on PD once, and I did an Amazon show. So I would suggest, if you feel comfortable, obviously, whenever you feel confident.
No, I want to, but it's just. I guess
mean,
just
it's pretty.
doing it.
It's pretty simple. You
Yeah.
you pick a piece that you like. They don't tell you what to do, so you can pick something you like, and film it and see what happens.
Do it. Just
Okay,
do it.
I'll do it.
I've been
Yeah.
trying to get John to do it all the time. He just doesn't want to do it. No, John's not
Why
an
don't you
actor.
wanna
He's
do
not an
it?
actor. He's not an actor.
Oh.
Well, I mean, like back to what you were saying though, like, everyone's got to start. And
Yeah.
like sometimes you could be years in this game and really prepared for something, and then someone just comes in and then gets it. It's rare, but then they just come in and get it because it's like what they're
Looking for
what they're looking for.
Michelle Rodriguez.
Michelle Tanner, for example.
Yeah.
Tanner.
Yeah.
So the Olsen twins.
Oh.
Obviously, they were babies when they got this, but they weren't.
Yeah,
They
that
weren't even
doesn't
there. They
count.
weren't even there to audition. Like the parents weren't even there to audition them. The director, the producer, Franklin, whatever it is, he was walking around in the area where they had the people that were auditioning because that lady, their mother, went to support a friend of hers that was auditioning her kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the producer walked around and saw the Olsen twins, he said, "I want them."
Mm.
So it was like perfect time for them. Obviously, they're babies, so it doesn't count.
I bet
But
you
there
that
are-
lady hates the other one. now.
Probably. They're not even friends anymore.
Yeah.
But I mean, it probably happens with certain people,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's some people that just have the look that they're looking for. I don't care about their talent. I'll give you a perfect example because I was watching this movie.
I
on
just
TV.
gave you one.
I got another one. You ever watch Rocky Balboa?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember the scene where he's at this bar, and this girl goes up to him and is like, "Is that you? Is that really you?" And she wasn't. He's basically telling him to buy her drinks or whatever. And I was like, God, that's the worst acting I've ever seen in my life. Now, I don't know if they told her to act that stupid, but I doubt it. And I'm just like, John could have done better at that girl's role than that girl did.
You hear
And I'm
that?
like,
I don't know about
You
that.
hear that, man?
no, you probably would have done better than she does. Acting is challenging, but I would suggest, you gotta get an agent at some point just if you want to start seeing.
I'm trying my best with it. I'm also with dance, like it's finding a balance with those because for me, like Drew said, dance is kind of acting. Not kind of, it is. Right now, I'm just staying busy with teaching and hopefully getting more dance teaching studios. Right now, I'm focusing on Carnival. We talked about it earlier.
Oh yeah. Plug it.
I got Carnival. I'm gonna do my own dance set in like May. So right now I'm like freaking out about it and also cramp choreographing in a good way. Good freaking out.
We should all go if you guys are free.
Yeah.
Where is it?
It'll.
Metro something. It's like near O'Hare.
It's like a
Not far
club.
from here.
Yeah, it's a club.
Club Metro.
Club Metro.
Something.
I think.
It just sounds like it would be that way. I feel like there was a Club Metro when I was growing up, probably. But yeah, we check it out. Let me
Yeah,
know.
it's a good time. I mean, at very least, you see a bunch of amazing dances, and for her, like I'm really proud because it's a full circle moment. Because she was somebody that just stumbled in randomly one time, and I'm formulating this new inner city youth group, and she just had a natural talent of dance at the time, and so just she was always obsessed with it. She would come in with like what was it, lemonade or orange juice? Lemonade, like
I always like bring lemonade bottle.
the whole thing.
Like a
thing.
Minute Maid lemonade thing?
Like
Yeah.
Simply. What's it
And
called?
Simply lemonade?
Yeah.
Okay, I
Yeah,
gotcha,
and
I
she would
gotcha.
work her ass off in rehearsals, and
That
they
was your Gatorade.
yeah.
That
It
was my Gatorade.
Simply lemonade. Got it.
Well, after that, I switched to like the orange juice at Jules.
Okay.
That's
Fair
a
enough.
good orange juice.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And she worked her butt off in rehearsals, and I remember just being like, my goal was if one dancer makes it, if one dancer goes and pursues this, then I'm doing a good job. Like
Yeah.
to see it full circle, and they don't just let anyone do this carnival thing. Like you have to submit, and then know people, and it's
Apparently, you have to get rejected twice, I heard. Or like get ghosted. I only got ghosted once, which
And
is
you got picked.
cool.
I don't know if that's true.
Really?
I can't.
That's
I
what I
can't.
heard.
I'm not gonna confirm that because
Confirm or
Okay,
deny.
rumors.
Allegedly.
That's a rumor. That's what I
Allegedly.
heard.
Allegedly.
I'm not gonna confirm that because I know people that haven't been rejected at all. But
Oh.
but I think that the point is whether you get rejected once or twice is that eventually you get to it, and there's like acting or any arts, there's a right time for you. So sometimes you don't get it, and then but we're crazy, so we keep trying. And now you get to tell your story, and I get to observe it, and we'll be cheering you on from from the audience and stuff. And I can't wait to see it because she's got really good choreography, and that's one reason why we collaborated on a dance the last 2 weeks, and
Literally
we taught
yesterday, we taught.
yeah, and so I was like, hey, I'm doing this podcast tomorrow. You should, come through, just share what you're doing, because she has so much more, I think, to give once she realizes how to like manage her time, she can get an agent. She could do more acting. She can definitely be choreographing for anybody. You know, because she's got that. It's just about like, you know, when you're young, you don't know how to like when I was 19, I didn't know what I was doing, and
It's almost like you have the
She'll get
opposite
there.
problem. It's
She'll
almost
get
like you got
there.
the opposite problems. When you're young, you have the energy to do a million
But
things.
you don't have
but
the
you don't have the
mental-
coordination to
Yeah.
do it all. As you get older, you have better coordination to figure how to do more things, but you don't have the energy for
Well,
it.
that's
right.
fun.
That's a great
That is
point.
fun.
I mean, I'm
That's
pretty
a
sure it's
great
not true
point.
for every person, but I can say for myself, yeah, I used to be able to deal with my time better. I deal with my time better now than I did when I was young. But when I was young, I could do a million things,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But that's awesome. You know, kudos to you, and I hope everything goes well for you.
Thank you.
Do you guys want to plug anything, your Instagram, socials, anything like that before we go?
Yeah,
Wait, I'll plug yours and you'll plug mine.
okay, but I don't necessarily
I don't know it.
remember people's.
You don't know our names?
I know, yeah, but is that your social media?
Yes, it's my social media.
She's like, how do you
And
not
I
know
don't
this?
even, you know, we're Latino,
You
so I
tag
never,
me.
I
Yeah,
never
we-
call her by her actual name. I call her Antonetti, Anto, everything but your name, like
You should have said my name. It's Antoinette.
Antoinette,
Yes.
Antoinette.
There's like, when I first met him, he pronounced my name wrong for like 2-3 years.
All right.
I still,
It happens.
It takes a while to like get the courage to correct somebody.
Yeah.
I do,
okay.
I do want to plug the dive because I will be in a little bit of that coming up. So shout out to that whole crew and the dive series. And
It's on
then-
YouTube, right?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. And I do want to give a shout out to Joelle. We just worked on a film called Sock It To Me. It's a great film. It's a comedy horror, so it's different, but it's brilliant. She's amazing. And shout out to Maria for Flower Girl, and you as well for having me on here, and all the dance crews that I work with in Chicago. And yeah, and to my wife and kid for putting up with me.
Madam.
Just anything? Just anything? Okay. Thanks, Dad.
So if anybody wants to reach out to you, for example, for an audition or they want to learn
Oh.
dancing, how would they get in contact with you?
Oh, just
Don't give out your phone number. If
No,
that's
I'm not
what
gonna
you're
give out my
thinking.
phone number.
Like Instagram.
my Instagram is Antoniette Marino, ANTONIETTE
So,
MARINO.
I should probably plug mine though.
Yes,
too.
go
I
ahead.
haven't-
His is I'm Drew 87
Yeah.
because he was born in 1987.
Wow.
it's
Oh.
simple.
You didn't have to
Must
get
be
1987.
Hey, I was 83, so it's not even that bad.
1987. Like someone told me, like I was teaching
In
a
the
kid.
year of our Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was teaching like a 15-year-old. They're like, you were born in the 1900s, and I was like, what? I
Was
was like,
that like the medieval
no,
times or something?
that's what they said to me, dude. And I was like, man, maybe I should just give
I
up.
was.
Like a 15-year-old said it with a smile on his face. Like, you were born in the 1900s.
You know what's messed up is that I remember looking at people that are my age when I was like her age and saying they were old. So it's like I can't even take it like too seriously because I knew I was doing the same shit at that age.
But
It's like-
here's the thing too. They're still using like, and I'm gonna sound old. They're using like our styles. Like, our champions are still the champions. Mike Tyson's their champions, like Jake Paul.
who's
Like our champions, like Floyd Mayweather. All these guys, or music. Like, look at music. NSYNC is still coming. They're coming back.
Well,
like,
let's see if that's true. Who's your heartthrob? Is
Like
it
in
Jonathan Taylor Thomas?
No.
Or
She doesn't know
She
who the
doesn't-
hell that
I'm a
is.
I don't
different.
know.
I'm
You
a
said
different
it's
heartthrob.
say.
Like music heartthrob.
I don't know.
Sure.
Whoever.
What's sure?
Who do young ladies have a crush on?
Yes,
Is it Jake
nowadays.
Paul?
No.
Jake Paul, right?
I did buy his backpack merchandise when I was a kid.
Oh my
I'm
God.
sorry. I'm
You
not.
drink
It was
Pride.
bad. It
She
was
drinks
bad.
Pride.
I like Jake
Why
Paul.
would-
No, I don't. I'm a huge Maroon 5 fan.
Okay.
Maroon
That's
5.
that's
When I was a
different.
kid. Well, I still am.
That
I still
was,
am.
yeah, I was about to say
I
that was a
still
few
am.
weeks ago. So a few
Yeah,
weeks ago,
a
you
few
liked
weeks
Maroon
ago.
5.
Yeah. I also like Khalid. Khalid's great.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know who
He
Khalid
hasn't.
is?
He hasn't come out with something.
Music.
No, I know.
Oh.
He doesn't know.
I don't. I mean, I'm like 90.
He did something
I'm like
with,
98.9% only listen to Hispanic music.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
That's
he's
just
like
me.
Like
If it's not that-
mariachis?
I don't listen to it a lot personally, but I have Mexican friends at work and they play it a lot.
He
And
does
Oh.
not listen to
I-
it.
I love
but
it.
why do you make?
All he listens to is reggaeton and maybe a little bit of salsa.
You're full of shit.
Oh.
Anyways, I have a respect for Hispanic music. Yes, I don't play it. It's not in my playlist. But if it's played, I don't mind it. I think
Yeah.
it sounds cool. The sense like I like real instruments. That's the thing about me and music. I like
Yeah.
real instruments. I don't like people and mix boards and doing
Do you like
So we-
rock? Do you like rock and roll or
some
like
alternative.
alternative?
I like some alternative. What do you mean? No, I listen
don't
to
like-
some alternative. Like I listen to Maroon 5 or Linkin Park.
Okay,
or
Linkin Park,
freaking, who's the guy you don't like from Nickelback? I listen to Nickelback because I
The
like that
Rock.
type of alternative music. I like that shit. I like. I'm a drummer, so obviously drumming in metal and in rock is a legitimate thing. Obviously, I have to listen to some of it.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite thing in the world.
I'm saying because Riot Fest is always a great time. I love Riot Fest.
Douglas Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think they might be switching it this year because
Yeah, please do.
Douglas Park sounds dangerous.
It is.
well,
Dangerous.
yeah, it's like
I don't know why
might
they
as well
do
say
it there.
Garfield
no,
Park.
I was over there and I was like, what am I doing here? But like, there was also Mexican Independence. So trying to get home after the concert,
Oh yeah, it's
it's
probably a
crazy. It took me hours.
Yeah, that's what I want to get. I want to leave the city.
You want to leave the
I'm done.
city?
But you guys both gave your Instagrams.
Yes.
All right. Anything else you guys want to say before we sign out?
I just want to thank you guys for having us on here and being open to having Anto on here and putting up with us talking for a little bit. And I really appreciate your time and your platform.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
We
thank
appreciate
you.
We appreciate you guys
Appreciate
coming.
you.
John, you got anything else?
yeah. After this, we're gonna turn off the cameras and we're gonna pop and lock, and they're gonna judge.
Pop and lock.
I
Is that a
will-
thing now?
Those
or
are
is it
two
not?
different things.
Well,
So-
we're not. We're definitely. We're not gonna be whacking.
people-
That's for sure.
Yeah, I don't know why she used that as an example
I
for
don't
me.
know either, but I'm intrigued now.
Okay,
Kinda,
cool.
sorta. I'm like a Les twin. You'll see.
Oh, he knows his stuff.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys
Ooh.
coming down. Obviously, I'll get you guys back on soon so we can keep going with the conversation. We'll hopefully we'll work together soon. I'm pretty sure we will.
Yes.
John, you're good to go?
Yeah.
Madam, you're good to go?
Yeah.
Sir?
Yes.
All right. And that's going to be our show for tonight. Like, comment, and subscribe. Remember, everything we said is in our opinion. And if you don't agree with it,